You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk again what we got for fans. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and eat, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing a song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready, you got one more chance. You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation collecting nerds, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Hey. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the PlayStation Collectors Podcast, Season 2, Episode number 42. And tonight we welcome KAG to the show. What's going on, KAG?
That's awesome, man. Episode 42, and I'm 42.
Hey,
That's awesome. That mixed in. There you go. Awesome.
So if you're under the age of
42,
42,
the number
Yeah, come
that's that special number from I forget the movie. It's a
oh,
90s
Hitchhiker's
movie.
Guide, Hitchhiker's
Yeah,
Guide to the
Hitchhiker's
Galaxy.
Guide.
The meaning, I think it's the meaning of the meaning of the universe. It might be 42 or something like that.
I'm pretty sure it's 42.
Dude, I love that movie. Not the movie, but the book. Dude, it is like, if I wrote a book, it would be that ridiculous. That's why I just, so good, dude. There's a million things in that show. That book's just amazing. Have you read it? By any chance? No? You guys
I
read it?
watched the movie. I didn't read the
Seen the
book.
movie, yeah.
Yeah. As insane as the movie is, dude, the books are just even like that what's his name? Beeble Blocks. I can't remember his name. The president with the 3 heads or whatever in the book is completely insane. It's good stuff though. But yeah. Thanks for all the fish.
KAG, so thanks so much for coming on the show, man. For everyone who doesn't know you, please tell us who you are and what you do.
Yeah, absolutely. They call me KAG. It's short for King Ericon Gaming. I'm a YouTuber. Have my own channel called King Ericon Gaming, collector. And it's stuff you see behind me. I play every console. I don't show any favoritism at all. If I grew up with it, I'm playing it today. You know what I'm saying? Started off with Atari, but I never owned an Atari. I always played my grandmother's Atari. So she had the old school wood grain
And
one.
it got the Atari. Did she have the,
Oh,
did she
yeah.
have the wood-sided TVs too with the knobs
Yes,
and everything? Yeah, baby.
Dude, and in the summer you'd be sitting on that sofa with the plastic. Yeah, gotta peel yourself off of it. But yeah, that's where it started at, man. So I've always been into it and kind of maintained it, and now just love it.
Yeah, dude.
Oh, that's awesome, man.
We had the same. We had in my basement. We had like one of those giant TVs, and you had to with the Atari. You had the forked prongs on it. This was like before coaxial. Even you had to like put it on the antenna, dude. And, like,
Yeah,
screw it in.
yep. Oh yeah,
Yeah, classic. And then you had the channel flipper. That's something that young kids will never understand. It's like you had to have the TV on a certain channel to play your games. Like if you didn't
they'll never experience that ever again.
Mm-mm.
I was probably like the last generation to experience that type of stuff because I remember analog, but like I only remember as a little kid, and then it was into the digital world right after that.
Yeah,
you know what? I miss the analog world quite a bit, actually.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Things were a lot simpler back then, that's for sure. Things just worked.
I'm so glad that I grew up in a time where my parents couldn't find out where the hell I was.
Yeah.
I like that. They had to just believe what I told them.
Oh yeah.
Very, very useful compared to now.
I knew to be home when the street lights started coming on.
Yeah, when it's dark. That's the rules.
And where I lived at, we knew in our neighborhood because one street light would start before the rest of them. and it would click on, and you would try to race those streetlights before they all start coming on down the street to the house. As long as you made it home before that last streetlight came on, you're good.
It's just like a horror movie. You ever see Lights
Oh
Out?
yeah.
It's like, stay in the light.
Just look out when the lights come on. All the kids are running home.
Dude, literally, like in the late 80s, early 90s, that's literally what it was. You know what I'm saying? Your parents were like, hey, be home before the streetlights came on. And that's we would just scatter, dude. Like when that first light would flicker, it was like, you know, everybody was like, see you later, guys. You know, just gone, man.
Everyone's got push bikes or skateboards, and everyone meets up in the same house. Like I grew up in the 90s, it was the same thing. But like today, you don't see kids on the street, and you know, if you do, it's like, what are they up to? Are they up to any trouble? Or
yeah, I think it's funny. Like now, it's like people are scared to let their kids outside. When I was a kid, my mother was like, "Get out, get out of my house, go outside. Don't want to see you until the lights come on." You understand me?
Absolutely, 100%.
Just cut us loose, and we run amok, and then that's actually where I got a lot of my early video gaming, because I would have to go around and go to other people's houses, and I got to see other people's Ataris and other, you know, and Nintendos. And let me tell you, if you had like a game system that I liked, you were my friend for a while. I'd be coming over your house a lot. And that continued for like my whole life. Like I remember even in like middle school, like I couldn't afford a nice computer. Like nobody had like nice computers. Like if you had a computer at all, you were lucky, because they were very expensive. And I just had this like one friend who had like this really nice computer. He had like Doom, and he had Hexen, and he had Red. I was like, oh my god.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Day. Like, can I come over? Can I come over? Can I come over? Please, please, please. I want to play. It's so funny, dude.
And it's funny, back then, it was so easy for me to get video games, because at that time, I was either raking yards or shoveling driveways, you know, and that's how I got my first game consoles, outside of my mom buying our first NES. But when I got a little older and I started getting into, you know, the bigger stuff like the Neo Geo and the Saturn or the TurboGrafx 16 or some of the obscure stuff, 3DO, I was able to buy a lot of that stuff because, dude, in your street, you get 10 yards, you know what I'm saying? You had money, you know what I'm saying? And the money was yours. Your mother wasn't like, hey, you got to pay for this, you got to do this. They were still taking care of you, so you could use that on all video games. It's pretty awesome back then. Now, if you were plowing driveways, it's going all to gas.
You got to do a lot of driveways to get a Neo Geo or a TurboGrafx these days.
Yeah, absolutely.
I definitely felt the same about making like pocket money back when I was a kid. But I grew up in a small town where the closest game shop was 200 kilometers away, like 150 miles away. So in my head, a new video game was, you know, once a year when we go on a trip to the big city. And I didn't really grab the concept of how expensive games were, but they were more expensive back then. Like games were the same price 20 years ago as they are today, really.
Yeah, people don't realize a lot of games, especially EA games, were $79, $69.
Yep.
Even at Toys R Us, KB toy stores and stuff. And people are like, they dispute it, but we have ads. You can pull up ads from back then, and those games were expensive.
My dad paid like $100 for Phantasy Star 2 on the Genesis from Child World. Like it was like $100 to get that game.
Yep. Yeah,
I definitely remember as a kid, like when you owned one game or you got it for a present or something like that, you treasured that thing. Like I looked after all my games. I always finished playing them. I pulled it out, put it in the case, put it on the shelf. I like to look at them all. And I remember I lent a game to a friend once and it came back damaged and I was so upset. And, you know, I didn't do anything wrong. That 12-year-old kid didn't look after my thing.
I won't forget, for a birthday, I got Silver Surfer on NES as a birthday gift.
It's a tough game.
I cherished that game, and I beat that game. I'm like one of the only friends I know at that time that beat it, but I was forced to beat it because it's all I had.
Yeah.
You know, and then you created this love-hate relationship with it because that's all you had. You know, and people don't understand that. Now, if a game's too hard, they'll just move on, take it out. I don't have time for that. I'll put something else in to enjoy my time. Back then, that's all I had until Christmas. My birthday's in June. So from June until December, That's all I had every day to play until that time. You know, and that game was brutal. Hit detection on there was
that's like
atrocious.
tough. That's like a notoriously tough one, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what makes nostalgia so strong for certain gamers. Is like not just that. You made me think of like demo discs. Like I remember if I had a demo disc, I had 3 or 4 games, or I got 10 games on this demo disc, and you would play 5 hours in each demo, like replaying it and playing it over and over. So to me, even if I didn't own the game, like if I've played it when I was a kid, the nostalgic is so strong because you put so much time and effort, and you know you fell in love with it as a kid because that's all you had.
Was that EGM magazine, Electronic Gaming Monthly, came in a plastic with the demo disc, and you would love to get that magazine and pop that disc in, and that's how you got to experience everything you saw maybe in the previous magazine. Oh, this is coming or whatever. That's how you got you. It was no internet where you could just download something like this. You know what I'm saying? It was awesome.
There'd be like cheat guides in the magazine, and tell you the upcoming games, and good times.
Yeah, and that was back before 50,000 games came out a month. So like you could be like you get that magazine and you'd see Final Fantasy 6 or Dragon Warrior 4 or whatever new game that's coming out soon. And I would be drooling over it, just waiting for reading all the pictures, just the hype. Nowadays, it's just like, I don't have time to be hyped. I don't have time. I'm like overwhelmed. I'm like, I can't keep up. I can't keep up with all the good games. It's just like,
it's oversaturated.
I haven't started Final Fantasy 16 yet. More games are coming out.
I stupid Harry Potter is gonna take me like 60 hours.
I haven't even put Harry Potter in yet. It's still in the plastic. Final Fantasy 16. I'm never gonna get to that anytime soon. I'm looking at my PlayStation 5 section right here, and so on this shelf is about 50 games, and out of this 50 games, 45 of them are still in plastic.
It's gonna say the same thing with me.
You know, it's the gaming market is so oversaturated. They need to slow down. And if they just slow down, and I understand they have, you know, people that they pay money back, investors and stuff like that. But if they just slow down, they won't have to worry about what happened with Cyberpunk 2077 and all of these games coming out broken. You know, just slow down, man, because we're gonna buy them, but we don't need. In September, we got 20 games, and then in October, we got 15 games, and then November, we got another 15 games. It's too much, man. It's just too much.
Okay, I actually feel like the gaming market is going towards that. Let's slow down and delay our game and release it because the fans will give us that much backlash that we'll lose money if we release a broken game. And it has been the case, which, I mean, I don't want to see companies go under, but I think it's good that, you know, people attacked Hello Games and Project CD Red when they released broken games after promising these things. So other companies are like, no, let's delay our games. When a game's delayed, I get in the Twitter threads and I'm like, this is great. They're going to release it working.
Yeah,
you know, there's a lot of games this year that have come out. I played day one. That will work. I played Starfield without any patches. I played Tears of the Kingdom without any patches. Like, this is crazy because, you know, going in the last 10 years, it's always day one patches.
Yep. Back when we were kids, we didn't have day one patches. Like, the game was finished, and if they wanted to upgrade a game, and you know who was notorious for that was
we'll fix it on number 2.
Street Fighter. How many Street Fighters do we have? Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2, Super Street Fighter 2 Hyper Fighting, Super Street Fighter 2 new characters, Turbo
Champion Edition.
There was like 10 copies. If they want to update it, you have to buy another game.
You know what? I would rather it be like that though, because at least all the content's on that damn cartridge. Like, you know, I'm being a dead horse, but I'm anti DLC. I'm against it. People are like, why? It's just a bonus content. It's extra content. Because I'm like, it just ruins the whole. First of all, it ruins collecting. It ruins it because everything. It's not on the disc. It's not on the cart, and that in and of itself is frustrating. And then, not only that, if you do want a physical, now you got to buy it again because you got to buy the complete edition or the ultimate edition or whatever when they come out with that. And even then, they still might not put the damn content on the disc.
Well,
sometimes they just make you buy it again. You get a goddamn download code. I'm like, what's the point?
Look at some of when collector's editions come out and they have the behind the scenes of like when they were developing the games. I've seen a couple when they were developing the game on the whiteboard. When they designed the game, there was developmental content, and then there was a bubble for DLC. So when they started doing the whiteboard for the game, DLC was on the whiteboard. It wasn't, this is the game and this is what the game's going to be. They were like, oh, this is what we're going to release to the consumer, and then this is going to be the extra income we're going to have here, and then this is the 6-month or year later income. When they develop the game, it's already in the mind of we're going to release you this, and then we're going to charge you more for this. It's never they're never like, let's just release this one game. I can't even think of a game that came out in the last 5 years that was just complete without any like.
I believe Tears of the Kingdom isn't going to have DLC.
Yeah,
Which
and
doesn't need
DLC
DLC. So
Well,
kudos to them if they don't.
You don't think Tears of the Kingdom? I think Tears of the Kingdom is going to have a $19 DLC at some point. I think
you probably. I mean, I hope it doesn't, but I'm sure.
Baldur's Gate, I don't know. I haven't played Baldur's Gate yet. But they were in development for like 4 or 5 years before the game even came out. So yeah, they probably won't.
Waiting for the Elden Ring DLC to drop any day now.
Nintendo are the kings of greed. And
yes.
Wait until the new Switch or whatever the hell they call it comes out. We're all getting fleeced because we're all gonna they're gonna re-release everything again. Like you know what I mean? That you're gonna have the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe Complete Edition finally with all the hope. I mean, I hope anyway. And they'll sell HD packs, and they'll hey, we'll have the new Tears of the Kingdom, and then it'll come with the DLC. You'll see. They're gonna make us buy everything all over again.
You're spot on. KAG, I wanted to touch on one thing you just said, and goes back to that whole whiteboard conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And if they are having that conversation, they're probably going to save the best content for the DLC because you want to save the best stuff for them to pay for, right?
Yep.
So, like already, if you're buying a game, you're not getting the best part of the game because they've put their mind to putting the best part behind a paywall that you won't even get for another year. So it's like, why buy the game day one? Just wait for the Game of the Year edition until you have that DLC and then play the experience that they initially intended you to have. Like it's like watching a TV show now, and they're not going to release the cliffhanger until season 2 that will be on a new membership that you got to pay because they've been ported over to a new streaming service or something.
Well, like look at and you're absolutely right. Look at Mortal Kombat 1. So I saw that game. Obviously, I wanted it. I'm like, this is a great game, but they put one of my favorite characters of all time, Homelander, behind the paywall. They said you got to get this DLC to get him. I'm like, yo, but you know what to expect. You know what I'm saying? They got all these great characters coming out. I can't wait until he comes out. But you got to pay for him. You know what I'm saying? And they did that before they announced that, like before the game was even out. So they had time to put those characters in there if they wanted to. You know, so it's crazy, man.
You know what annoys me about that is they're not new characters. They're like, hey guys, pay for these old characters that you loved in these previous games. It's not like pay for new characters that we've just made up from new franchises that have just come around or anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's bad, man. They listen. I understand it costs more money to make these games. You know, they're going into the hundreds of millions of dollars. Just charge me more upfront for the game. You know, if I have to pay $100 for a 100% complete game with all of everything, I'll do it. You know, I don't want to pay $70 and then have to pay $30 for the season pass, and then you come out with some type of exclusive skins that aren't in the season pass. It's another $20, you know, and then later on down the line, you come out with the year Game of the Year edition, which has everything on the disc. Now I got to buy that one because you know I'm a collector. Mm-hmm. So I gave you 70, I gave you 30, I gave you 20, and now I'm about to give you another 50 or 60 when the Game of the Year comes out. You hit me for $200 on a game.
Yep. And not just that, you have to play the game over a certain life cycle. Because if you start playing it after a month and you stop playing it, and then the DLC comes out in a year, you're not going to remember the story. You got to start again. You know, I don't want to replay a game that's got a story. I've already heard the story, so
Yeah.
it ruins that experience too. Especially if it's a game that's skill based, where you've learnt the skills and you've spent a month getting good at the game and different things like that.
Mhm.
Yeah, I think the worst thing that one of the things that irritated me the most this year was the Resident Evil 4 remake with the DLC. I'm like, what, dude? Like, this game came out 10 years ago. That DLC has been out for. You couldn't have just put that in there. Come on, like that really irritated me.
Did you see the news that dropped today, Joe? The Last of Us. They just cancelled the DLC that was going to come out. That was previously on the PS3 for free. Has been out for 10 years. It's not coming to the remaster.
Oh wow.
The Last of Us Online multiplayer game.
Oh yeah, they finally canceled that because they've been saying they were going to bring it for a while.
Yeah, I used to know a guy that only played that. Like that was his game, and then when it got announced, he was so excited. It's been out for years, and it's still never come. And that was free DLC back on the PS3.
Mm-hmm.
They turned off their comments. They're hiding. Naughty Dog is hiding right now.
Steve, here you go, man.
Mr. Right Way, what's up, brother? See him in the chat. That's dope.
Baldur's Gate 3 and free God of War. Do you see it? Yeah, I agree. Yeah, free DLC. I'm not going to complain about.
Not at all.
That's foolish.
Yes.
I'm not gonna. If you want to give me free DLC, I can't complain because that's just thank you. That's extra stuff. So, but like I said, I don't like it all piecemealed out, and And another thing too, so when you're talking about fighting games specifically, because I was like, fine, I'm not doing this. I'm not paying it. I'm just gonna wait till the Super Ultimate Edition is out. So if you do that, like I do that, by the time you buy it and want to play it, nobody wants to play it anymore. Everyone's moved on to like 2 or 3 games since then. You know what I'm saying? It's like who wants to play Mortal Kombat 10 XL with me? It's like, what? No, dude. Like I'm so over that. What are you talking about? Or you're like,
and the online community is the same. Like if you tried to get a match online, you're probably going to spend 20 minutes in the lobby.
Yeah, or even just talking about it. It's that same thing if you watch a TV. It's like have you guys watched Game of Thrones? Like we're all like, what? Yeah, dude, like 5 years ago. What are you talking? I just saw
about it anymore.
It was really good. Nobody wants to talk about it. They're all like, yeah, whatever. I don't care. So it's like also it's like you can't be hyped about it. It's hard to you know what I mean? You can't enjoy that.
It's funny.
If you're all playing it together at the same time, everyone's like, oh, did you get to this part? Did you do that? Oh, man, this looks so cool. Blah, blah. You know what I mean?
It's funny you bring up Game of Thrones. I almost stopped watching that after the Red Wedding. The Red Wedding took me out, dude. Like I was like, I'm done. I don't want to watch this no more. And I made my way back. Thankfully, I made my way back. But the Red Wedding was the most drastic thing I've ever seen in a show in my life.
Any story. Yeah.
I read the books first, so I can spoil it now because the show came out 10 years ago. So in the books, Catelyn Stark didn't die. Like she was still alive in the books, and she was the main character. And she was my favorite character. So I'm going along with this. So I was prepared for the Red Wedding because I knew what she was going to turn into. No, the TV show's no, she's just dead. We're just going to remove her from the series like we removed 50 other characters because we don't have enough time. Like, what are you doing to my favorite series?
That could have been a great game. They could have did it. They could have did something with Game of Thrones as a game. Like, man,
they still can. They could make the best RPG with Westeros as a world.
Oh my god, yes.
I played a mod of Total War using the Westeros world, and it is one of the best Total War mods I've ever played. I'm a massive Total War fan, but it is so good. The way that they've done it, everyone from the series is in it, and the way Total War works is King dies and it passed down to the kids. So if you're playing for long enough, you'll see kids in the series become kings and lords of the land and marrying different people and fighting different factions. It's so good.
Can you marry your cousin and your sister? That's like the real deal, or?
Gotcha.
I want all love options, baby.
Dude, just think about if they had a Skyrim mod for Game of Thrones. Dude, that would be insane.
I'm sure they have a Game of Thrones mod for Skyrim. It's probably
yeah.
I could see someone probably like the main problem would probably be the licensing behind it, because is it HBO or Warner Brothers or someone's owns Game of Thrones? You know, if they're
Yeah.
going to make the game, it's probably either going to be them or selling the licensing for billions of dollars to some big company.
For sure.
Dude, I remember I read the books before the show came out too, and I can still remember I was at my college like orientation, and I was like sitting in my room, and I read that part, and I fucking threw the book across the room, and I was so mad, and I called my friend who he gave me the books, and I was just like, dude, and he's like, you read that part, didn't you? I was like, no! He's just like, I knew this moment would come. He's like, I knew you would call me and freak out because it's the craziest thing. Because the whole time I'm like, is this like a dream sequence? What the is happening? And in the book, they make you think Arya dies too. Like the way he ends the scene is like it's like it says, and then like the Hound hits Arya on the head with an axe or something, like with the back of his axe. It almost makes him think like Arya died too. And I was like, "Are you kidding me, everyone?"
And then she comes back as a different name in the book, so you don't know she's around until you like click it together. Like she's the assassin thing, and they call her something different and never reference her name again. Like, yeah, that didn't click for me until I'm like halfway through the next book.
Yeah. Oh, dude, the books are so much better than the show.
I was reading the chat pop that they said they did a Telltale game. I didn't know they did a Telltale game.
They did. I played it. I think it was one of the worst Telltale games myself.
Oh, I'm gonna scratch it off the list then.
There's actually 2 Game of Thrones games. There's a Telltale, and then Atlas made another one. I think it's like a story-based game, similar to a Telltale, but again, I played it and I was expecting, Game of Thrones RPG. No, it wasn't what I was expecting.
I think the Telltale game, like, I haven't looked at it in a long time, but I'm pretty sure there's like no content on the disc either. I'm pretty sure it's like episode 1 or 2, and then everything else is DLC anyway. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, wow.
I think
a lot of the Telltale games are like that though. But then,
so annoying.
It's like free DLC. Download it here. Blah blah blah.
Correct, but again, it's just like it's not preserved at all, and I don't. And again, there's one thing you talk about. DLC may not get preserved. It's another thing that the last episode of a story isn't on there. Like that's just you imagine in the future you go and you play a game and you're like 4 episodes out of 5 episodes, and then 5th episode it's like download it. You're like, what? I can't. What are you talking about? You just can't finish the story. You can't finish.
By the way, downloading expired in 2025, and it's like 10 years later, and you're trying to finish this game or
TV bad show. Feeling. That happened to me with that Home Sweet Home game. I don't know if you played that Home Sweet Home horror game.
I know the game.
I didn't finish it. That old. It's not that old, but it's like, stay tuned for the rest of it, and like it never came out.
Well, look at what was the Crew, one of the earlier Crew games. They just
the first one's
the server's about to shut down. Yeah, here in 2024 is done. So if you bought that game and you pay for any DLC or anything, the game is just over. Like at that time, you can't even play it anymore. So.
There's actually so many PS4 games at this point right now. Battleborn, Overwatch 1, Friday the 13th.
Yep.
It's just games off the top of my head. That there would be dozens and dozens of games that are
coffins,
just discs and paperweights. They don't work. I sold a game on eBay the other day, and the customer like had to go at me because the servers are down. I'm like, sorry.
Yeah, what do you want me to do about it, man?
Yeah, it's not my choice.
They returned it saying the game doesn't work, but in the message they said, "Hey, I put it on and the server didn't work." The server's taken down. I thought you bought it for your collection. Sorry.
Yeah,
right.
You should know that, guys, but it is what it is.
Well, it's like I've got Friday the 13th online, and it's worth more than it used to be because of how collecting works. People want things that they can't have anymore and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, you know what? That's so good.
Hopefully, fans usually bring up servers later on down the line, so hopefully some of those like cult classics will get some type of fan server so that people can jump back in, because that's always really awesome.
Hey, speaking of a game that was online only that we were going to talk about, let's talk about our thumbnail today, MAG, the online shooter from the PS3. It used to have over 200 people all playing online at once, and unfortunately the servers are down. KAG, you played Mag back in the day?
I loved Mag, man. That game was absolutely insane. And it's just like, that's one of the games that I wish was still around to this day. And it would do very well today.
Yeah.
I
And
think so too.
such a great game. If you've never experienced Mag, like go and check out some videos online. The game was so dope, man. Enjoyed that.
I gotten so jealous watching those videos because it looks like so much fun.
Yes.
And talking to people who played it back in the day, like it's some of the best gaming moments from their like PS3 gaming life cycle. I'm so jealous.
Oh yeah.
And that's the type of thing, if Sony would focus on stuff like that and to put in their subscription service, that would be worth subscribing. So let's just, they could just put I don't need HD remakes. I don't need none of that. Just bring back a ton of those like online multiplayer games, Starhawk and Warhawk, and bring all that back and just throw it on there and be like, it's free if you get the the premium and you get the online. You can play with.
And then you make it free and you put this thing in that skins. If you want to buy skins, play money. And if people get into your game, guess what? They're going to spend money, and you'll make more money from the skins having the game free than if you had people buy it. Look at Fortnite. It came out as a free game. It's up to be the biggest thing in the world.
Well, Sony's going to have to do something because, as we already know, they just upped the price for PlayStation Plus significantly.
Yep.
And mine expires here in I think May, and I'm going to be taking a hard look if it's worth it or not because, paying, I think it's going to 130, I think it is, or something like that.
Money. You don't honestly get that much for it either.
Right. I think where they had it at was a sweet spot, and now what they're doing and how much they're charging, it's kind of iffy. Hopefully they got something in the pipeline we haven't mentioned yet, that's going to make that price be worth paying that price, and then I'll be okay with it. I don't have a problem with subscriptions. I just have a problem with paying for a subscription that's, not the value that you're charging me for. If it's worth it, then hey, I'm cool with it. But we'll see.
I haven't had PS Plus for close to 6 months now. I do have Xbox Online, and I don't even own an Xbox because the service is just really worth it. The first game that I wanted to play in a long time was Power Wash Simulator. It's actually come to PS Plus. And I went to get it, and I'm like, hang on, let me just check Xbox. And I logged in, and they're like, subscribe to Xbox for $1. I'm like, okay. Subscribe for $1. I played Power Wash Simulator. I'm like, why would I pay $20 on PlayStation when I can pay $1?
Yeah.
You don't ever get that option on the PlayStation. I've never seen a $1 sale pop up.
No, Sony would never. That would be like beneath them to do anything like that.
Dude, they literally.
To add to that, the last time I was on Xbox, I paid $1 as well. So I've had Xbox for 2 months for $2. Like, it's a no-brainer on what I'm going to go back to.
Sony has the so back in the day when it was like I used to sell cell phones. Verizon
too, man. That's awesome.
Verizon was like more expensive.
Yep.
But they were like, because we're the best. We have the best coverage. We have everything. Verizon's just a cut above. So they had that attitude, like my shit don't stink, and you're lucky to be here. And that's how Sony is these days. Yep. They're just like, we're the best, we're the greatest, and we're gonna charge you more and give you nothing because suck it, suckers. We know you're gonna buy. We're the best. We're the best. You're lucky to be here. And that's just the attitude.
It's really a Nintendo model that they're copying, because Nintendo have been like that for a long time. Like Nintendo have always been, games are $60 today or in 10 years time. Like you're never gonna get Breath of the Wild cheaper than $50, not brand new from Nintendo.
And you know what? See, the thing about Nintendo is they value their IPs more than anybody, and I actually don't have an issue with Nintendo for that because if you look at any of their games now, they hold the value because they do that, right? They don't oversaturate the market with their stuff. They don't water it down by dropping the price down to $19 or whatever. They even got rid of, you remember they had the Nintendo, what was it called?
Yeah, the classic.
Player's Choice games, I think it was called, or something like that. And they would go down to 19. They got rid of that. They never brought it back. They don't want to water down their brand. So as a collector, that's good for you, right? Because if you do buy into their ecosystem, your games hold a lot of value because of what Nintendo does. Now, like, even though they brought out 50 million Mario 64s, if you have a box copy with the book and everything, it's still worth a lot of money. Even though like they killed the market with that game. Yeah, it was everywhere. But today it's still worth that money because Nintendo values their properties like no other. So I'll give them that. You know, it's the only time you'll hear me say, "Good job, Nintendo."
True. And also back to the oversaturation thing is they're not like too heavy-handed with their releases. You're not getting a Mario game every year. You're not getting a
Correct.
Zelda every year. You know, I mean, we've actually been getting more than because of the remakes and the like the stuff they do. We've gotten probably more than normal, but you know, I do appreciate that they take their time and they always finish a very nice polished product that runs great and looks great and like also, you know, people complain about the Switch performance and blah 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 whatever with games, but not Nintendo games. Those play fan freaking tastic on the Switch because they develop them for that system and to do what they're supposed to do. And it's just like you said, it's like if you buy into it, you know what you're getting. You know you're getting quality. With Sony, who knows? Like day one, who knows what you're gonna get? Not just Sony, with PC, with lots of stuff. You just don't know what you're gonna get. It could be a broken game, could work sort of, could not work. PC is the worst though, because it's like, what kind of computer you have? It might run, it might not run. You might get 60 frames, 20 frames, whatever. Might work, might not work. Who knows? So
that's true, man. I mean, I think what it comes down to with Nintendo games, they're not asking for people to help fund their games, right? They're funding the Nintendo games themselves. They don't have investors and stuff like that telling them the game has to be out at this time or at this date. And if you look at some of the things that hurt some games on PlayStation and on Xbox, it was because publishers were pushing them to have that game out. Like use Street Fighter V, for example. That game came out extremely broken because Sony funded that game and told them, like, hey, you need to get this game out, Capcom, at this time. We help you develop this game. We need it out this time. So it came out, no arcade mode, no online for a minute. It was broken.
No arcade crap. Mode.
It was just atrocious.
Thing. It's crazy.
4 years later, the game was great because that's when the game should have came out. And then No Man's Sky, Sony did the same thing to that game. They had them push the game out. 4 or 5 years later, that game is a masterpiece because it should have came out at that time when it was a masterpiece, you know.
But most people played it day one and ruined the experience. Like, I'm not
never went
back
to
it because I put 50 hours into this shit game that was broken. That, you know, and I remember that.
And then Xbox, what do we get? This was a vampire game. I can't remember the name anymore because the game was Redfall. It was so bad when it came out. I was like, what is this game? Like, what's the identity here? Because there was like literally no heart when that game first came out. But look at it today. They put all the things, the 60 frames per second, all these things that should have been in there at launch, and now the game is playable. But you lost all of your day one customers because now they moved on to something else. Yeah. So it's just like, just sit on the game, man. Just sit on the game. It's not going to hurt you. You're going to make all your money back. You know, you have these corporations that, oh, we have to make these quarter numbers or this and this. It's like, it's a number game and it kills gaming.
I love that the buyers, us, are pushing and have pushed that hard that companies don't want to do that anymore. I've learned that if we do this, it's going to backfire. There's a saying that a delayed game's a delayed game until it's released, but a bad game is always a bad game, even if they improve it.
Yep.
You know, it's hard to change the public's conception behind a thing. You can delay a game for 2 years. It's going to release at some point, and the hype's going to be there on day one.
Yep. Well, look at Baldur's Gate as a prime example. You know, work on it, put it in early build or whatever, delay it, and then when you get it, you get an amazing game of the year game that everybody wants to play. So,
speaking of, I started Baldur's Gate 3 this week. And I'm having a great time. I didn't look at anything going into the game. I didn't really know what to expect. It is different to what I expect. I'm only 5 or 6 hours in because I've been playing it late at night, but I'm really enjoying it. If you guys haven't played it, it really uses the Dungeons and Dragons tabletop inside the game. Like you'll have choices, and you want to pick this option, but then to pick that option, you've got to roll the dice, and you have to, beat that number to get the option you want. It really incorporates that whole tabletop thing. It
Oh,
uses turn-based combat really well. It's one of the best turn-based combat RPGs I've played in years. It looks overwhelming at this point because I'm only 5 or 6 hours in. So I'm looking forward to like putting 20, 30 hours into this, like breaking into leveling and characters. I can't wait. You guys touched Baldur's Gate 3?
I have not. I have such a long list of games that I have to get to. It's on the list though. That, like we were talking about, Hogsworth. That's still on the list. Final Fantasy 16. I bought RoboCop.
Yeah.
Still haven't beat.
I gotta play that one too.
What else? Alan Wake 2. Still got to make my way back to Starfield.
I need to finish Starfield too.
Man.
Yeah, I'm like 150 hours in, still not.
Yes. Only thing I beat was Spider-Man 2. I platinum Spider-Man 2. And then that was like it for a while. So I got a laundry list of games that I want to get to, man.
It's like that. I wasn't gonna do it, but after it won Game of the Year, I could just say I'm playing Baldur's Gate. I'm sorry. If it's Game of the Year and I've played Starfield and I've played Hogwarts Legacy and I've played the new Zelda and I've had the best time in those 3 games and it's better, then I gotta play this.
Also, too, that was one of those games where at first they weren't sure if it was going to get a physical release, and they ended up doing the Japanese release. And I think is the PAL one just a collector's edition, or is
PAL
there
collector's edition? But I mean,
there's no standard, right? Correct. There's no. Yeah, so it's one of those things where like I want everyone to order that Japanese copy in that collector's edition if you can. Like, if a company's sitting there like, I don't know if we should do a physical. Everybody buy it, please. So they go, oh shit, yeah, we should definitely keep doing a physical. Look at all of this, because
I just want to add something. If you want to play it on PC. It feels like the type of game that wouldn't port over really well to a console because there's so much involved. Does that make sense? Like, there's so many different options to click. I've got a controller that I play most of my games on. I'm playing it with a mouse and keyboard because it's too full on. Like, yeah.
So I mean, I don't know, but I just like I said, I just like the Alan Wake 2 people, like I didn't buy it because
I'm kind of boycotting.
I'm holding out. I'm not boycotting. I'm holding out of spite. I'm like, no, someone's gonna put out a physical. I refuse to believe it.
Well, they won't because the company said no. Like Nordic Games offered to do a physical, and they said we don't want one.
There's an application. Okay, so this is the reason why I bought Alan Wake 2. I'm gonna try to pull it up here. It's an app you can put on your phone called Game Flip. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's a relatively new app. They're actually going through an investment round that I just noticed. But on that app, I got Alan Wake 2 for $18. So if you see here,
it's a damn good deal.
Let me see if I can get that closer.
I like buying digital when it's cheap.
$22.75 right there for Alan Wake 2.
That's pretty good.
And you can buy it right through this app's digital code. And that's why I bought it. That's why I bought it digital, because I could use that app and literally get it for a great price. So I had no problem buying it digital because of that. Mm-hmm. And it's called Game Flip, and it's so awesome. Do they have games for, obviously, they don't have games for PlayStation because PlayStation did a sucky move last year and told all developers that all games have to go through the PlayStation Store. So that's why you don't see codes anymore unless it's like in the box or whatever. But it's still going through the PlayStation Store.
Okay.
So
then you're right, because at my local shop they have Xbox and Switch codes, and I don't recall seeing.
But they're getting sued. PlayStation's getting sued right now over in the UK because of that. Because they basically monopolized their store. They're making everybody go through the store because PlayStation gets a 30% cut. They don't get a 30% cut if it's sold outside of their store.
Are they going to have to make digital games be able to be tradable?
That I'm not entirely sure what they're going to do.
A law just got passed that Steam now are making all digital games tradable. Like went through the courts and Steam lost, and now all their games, if you buy a game physically on Steam, you own that and you can sell it to someone else or trade it to someone else.
That's
That's really fascinating.
they should have, and I said that. So I worked for GameStop for 12 years, and I always, when digital started to get big, I always said the most successful company in the digital age is going to be the company that creates a digital storefront where you can trade in your digital games, and you may not get a lot for them, right? But you would get something for all of these games you have stowed away on your hard drive. And I still feel that way. The first company that comes up with that digital platform where you can trade in your games for new games, regardless of the dollar amount, they'll do what GameStop does to you and give you pennies on the dollar.
But for reasonable amount.
Create it. Yeah, create that store, man. And then people will actually look at preservation and digital games a whole lot different, because now they have control over their purchase instead of it being trapped on your ecosystem and having no value whatsoever. So they need to.
I might cop flag for this, but I referenced when NFTs became a thing. I brought up a point that video games could become NFTs and you could own them as in a physical sense. You bought that game and then you can see the game in a physical world and you can do things with it. You can sell it to someone. If you want to sell it cheaper than what it sells for, you can do that because you've bought it and you own it. Yeah. And it may be a thing one day. And you brought up a really good point, KAG, a marketplace doing that. And then if you look at Steam, well, it already has a marketplace in terms of digital items like skins and things like that. There's a full marketplace on Steam, and it's got there's millionaires on the trading items. It's not
CS:GO
$100. There's tens of millions of dollars worth of trading that happens on this website.
And Steam could make money. The marketplace can make money off of it. People will say, well, doesn't that hurt the sell of new games? No, because you just have to create a system where, okay, if you're going to do it, Steam gets some type of cut
Steam
from
take
the
1%,
sale, and
2%.
then the developer also should get some type of cut off of it too. But you still validate the consumer on their purchase because now they have control over it. Now they can do what they want with it, even though you're taking away from some of the profits. But we understand that because you created the marketplace. You can't just go somewhere and set up a table and start selling stuff. You got to pay somebody to set the table up, right? Then you got access and you do it. So I'm okay with that, man. And everybody can make money. If that comes down to everybody can make money and everybody can be happy with what's happening there.
It really shouldn't just be for games. It should be for all media.
I agree.
I bought songs on iTunes 20 years ago that I still have on my iTunes account that are still on my phone because I paid for them. They're always there. And it's like these songs I bought when I was a kid. I want to sell them back. Even if I'm getting 10 cents. I don't want them anymore.
You don't want to listen to Limp Bizkit anymore, bro? Chocolate starfish. I know what you want to sell back.
Oh, yeah.
Puddle of Mud records. And I'm just kidding. Sorry.
Now the biscuit stays.
And I
was
agree
at
with you
one age
100%.
that actually like Fred Durst.
Hey, I like their first album. I can't deny. I like that song.
The internet doesn't like him.
Oh, stuck. Get your hand on your brain again. I love that shit or whatever.
It's an interesting concept to talk about because, the court seemed to ward in favor of this is ownership and these
that's
correct.
Well, I wanted to bring up another thing. Did you see that Fortnite won their suit against Google?
Yep.
You see that? That's another massive sea change. So that was pretty much like you said. PlayStation cornered the market on the UK. You can only buy stuff through the store, so they take a cut. Same thing. Google was like, nope, you can only buy and sell through the Play Store, and they take like 50% or something, like some completely obnoxious. And so Epic was like, we're going to make our own storefront and we're going to process our own and they were like, if you do that, we're going to pull your game from the store and you're not going to be able to sell on Google. And they were like, what the freaking hell? And then so they sued them and they just won. So
that's what happened with Apple too. You remember?
Yeah, it happened with Apple.
Apple pulled it. They pulled it from the App Store, and Apple was like, you have to go through us. You can't have your own app.
Maybe it was Apple
store. No, it was Google too. Google. They won against Google, so Apple's probably shivering in their boots now because they set the precedent now that we can do this, and you can't do anything about it. So it's gonna happen.
It's great too because
Yes.
it takes away the monopoly of them taking everything, which is it.
They shouldn't have
prevents
control over
innovation and
what
different
people
things
can
like
and
that.
can't buy. That's
Yeah.
freaking wrong. Like that's like that'll be like how they want to ban X or Twitter because of Elon Musk. He's such a bad boy and everything. Like take away the power for them to just be able to decide who is allowed to buy and sell in this country. That's like biblical revelations type shit, man. Like who is allowed to, like, that's one of the marks of the beast. It's like seriously supposed to be like you're not allowed to buy or sell without the mark and blah 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 and all this other crap, which I'm not into. I'm not like a religious guy at all. But that's some creepy level stuff. And like
Yeah.
that they shouldn't have that much power.
And
no one should control that, have that much control. That's
if you think about it, a game, the MSRP is $70 for most games, right? $60. And as soon as it comes through, if it's digital, they're getting 30%, right? So Steam or Microsoft or Sony are getting 30% right off of that sale. So they're eating $21 off the top. Okay. And then all the money they have to pay back to their employees, to shareholders, to marketing and all. Like, how much are they really making for a game? They're not making as much as you think. People just see the $70 ticket, and people complain about the $70. But then, like when I worked in retail, when I would see our P&L for GameStop, we would be buying, like for Madden, because we bought millions of copies of Madden, we would buy Madden for $42 from EA. That was the base cost because we bought so many. So the game came out at 60, we would get it for 42. So we would sell it again for 60, but we were only paying EA 42 for it, but we would go back and sell it for 60. And then you would trade it in and we would sell it again. We would give you 20, we sell it for $54.99. So they were making tons of money on it. But the consumer only cares about what has to come out of their pocket, but they don't care about what the developer has to do to get the game to them.
Yeah.
So
and GameStop aren't making $18 a copy. That's $18 before you take in wages and the cost of electricity and the cost of rent. And what if one copy gets stolen? That suddenly rises the average price to $42.50, or one copy gets damaged, or a shipment goes lost, or suddenly the price goes down, then the profit margins drop even more. And
or old Billy's whacking off in the back room again on the games.
Yeah.
Or what does happen is the new game comes out the following year, and if you've still got 50 copies left, you've got to sell them at a loss, and that happens as well.
Yeah. Oh yeah. You would a lot of stores though, when a game goes like when it gets old or whatever, they sell them off to stores like not games per se, but even like clothing and stuff. Game stores like TJ Maxx, Marshalls, and stuff like that. So they would send these RMAs down, and we have to box up like all this stuff, and you would wonder where it goes. Like we thought it wouldn't get destroyed. It would just go to like these smaller stores. They would sell them to them at like a certain cost, a bulk cost, and then they would get them. That's why you would go to Five Below or like a dollar store, and you'd be like, why does that have PlayStation games? Oh, because they bought them from some company that just, a massive amount, for a discount cost,
Which I'd be down with that. It's like you can buy like pallets of games systems from places and stuff like that. You ever see what's that? I've seen a YouTuber who does videos about that, who like buy a pallet of Xboxes and
like
Jacob
Amazon.
Jacob
R.
I think that's who it is.
I love his channel. Dude is awesome, and he just bought like 4. Yeah, the 400 Xboxes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so many red rings, I'm sure.
You know what the funny thing is? I think in that video he just did a Wii one too. I think he only had like 5 consoles that didn't work. It was crazy.
Bad, dude.
Yeah, it was.
If you know what you're doing though, and you're cleaning them properly, and like some consoles won't work because they need a little bit of TLC.
Yeah.
And if you give it that TLC, suddenly it's working again, and it's got another life. And if like I used to work in a pawn shop, right, and we would have 50 consoles.
Pawn, by the way, if you can't hear his accent, KAG, it's pawn.
Yeah.
Say 10 of them didn't work. We'd put all the broken ones there, and then once a month, one of the guys who's a bit savvy would grab them all and see if he can get them working. And if the fan's not working in this PS3, take the fan out and put it in the one that needs a fan. And
Yeah.
suddenly, you don't go from 10 not working. You've got 5 that work, and you got 5 more that are parts for future ones. And that's how it. And by the end of it, you've only end up with a few of them that aren't working, and most of them work.
I laughed at when he did the video about the Wii's. I laughed because one of them was marked. One of the Wii's were marked does not read disc, and and he was like, "Oh, this doesn't read disc." But when he took the game out, the game was in upside down. So he put the game back in the right side up, and it worked. I'm like, what the hell? This person got rid of this console, and it was perfectly fine because they had the game in upside down. I was just like, yo, this is insane.
It's actually crazy how often stuff like this happens in gaming.
Yes.
Because the way, say, GameStop works is they don't have a TV in their shop to test things, or places like this. For example, I went into a Big W store and I found a PS5 controller. This was in 2020, right after the PS5 came out. Like, I wanted a second controller. They're like $120. I found one for $30, and it had on it, customer bought, returned it, not working, sold as is. And I'm like, what happened? And they said, well, the customer took it home and it didn't work. I'm like, all right, I took it home. Got home, plugged it in. It said, your PS5 controller needs an update. I updated it. It worked.
Oh, yeah.
Like,
Dude,
probably had no internet. Something stupid.
I probably had a PS4,
That's true, too.
Oh, yeah. It's amazing at the discounts and deals you can get because, customers, they'll just use that blanket statement. It just doesn't work. It could be anything. It really could be anything. You're right. 100% with that.
Yeah, there's a guy.
I own a disc cleaner machine as well, so I'll buy games that aren't working with the hope that I'm gonna get this game for $1. It's not working, and I might be able to fix it and sell it on or keep it for myself. And this disc cleaner has made me thousands of dollars in getting games, $100 games working again. Like, found a Silent Hill 3 that looked like it had been rubbed on concrete. I played it. It worked. It was Silent Hill 3. It was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
It is awesome. Yeah. What was I just going to say? Oh, yeah. There's a guy down this, like, in the next town over who's selling a fully backwards compatible PlayStation 3, which I have like 3 of them, but why not get another one? But he's like, I can't test it. I don't know if it's work as is. And he's asking like $100. And I'm like, I'm gonna shoot him an offer, be like, I'll give you $60 for it, bro. And I don't even give a damn if the thing works, because if it doesn't, and because it's just gonna be like, needs some love, like you said, I'll just have to like delit it, put some new thermal paste, clean it. I bet I can get it working again.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, that, like, buying stuff that doesn't work, if you're willing to put a little effort in and a little time and energy, it's you can fix it.
Even
You
putting
gotta,
$50 to repair it.
I could, seriously. So I get the thing for $60, and like I said, I could find someone else who will fix it for me for $50. I could probably sell it for $200 when it's all fixed up
for sure.
Easily, you know what I mean? So,
and when you have stuff like that,
I have a wall of PlayStation 3s.
When you have stuff like that, broken consoles, I implore people, don't be scared to like tinker with stuff. If it's broken already, don't be afraid to open it up, see how it works, see what you can do, and just look around, because it's already broken. You're not going to lose anything, because there's a lot of things when you open things up, you never know what you're going to get. It could be something, a screw moving around in there or whatnot, that's making it not work. You just never know. So don't be afraid to try to fix it.
It could just be a buildup of dust.
Yeah.
Oh, look how dirty this thing is. I'm going to clean it, put it back together, and it works.
It keeps overheating. I'm like, no kidding. It's got a freaking the Sahara Desert inside of it.
Or
breathe, man.
When I worked at GameStop, it's overheating. It keeps shutting down. It keeps telling me that it's overheating, and you open it up, there's roaches all on the inside. Get it out of my store. Get it out of my store, dude. Because people would bring
That's what AJ
PS2s.
just said.
We used to have a rule: if they put a machine on the counter and we seen a roach come out, we don't take it. Sorry,
dude. PS2s, the top loading one. When we used to take them at GameStop, you would hit the button to open it up, and it'd be dead roaches, and we'd be like, put it in a plastic bag, tie it up, get it out of here. It's when for me working at GameStop, a system that has roaches has a very distinct smell.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I can just smell it, and I'm like, I'm not taking it. I know that smell now, and it's such a distinct smell. Just get it the hell out of here, because you're not about to contaminate my store with this. You know what I'm saying? It's so bad, dude. It's so gross. Ugh.
We would have certain customers that would like have comments. This guy brings stuff in with roaches. Don't take his stuff.
Yeah, dude. It's you could. One reason why I don't buy from garage sales, systems from garage sales, and stuff like that. For a short period of time, I was a market manager for Terminex, and I learned so much working, through this company or whatever. And that is garage sales are the number one way you have pests or insects introduced into your home. You
Bring them
might
from
buy
someone else's home.
TR, you might
Bed
buy
bugs or something.
yeah, yep. And it's introduced into your home, and then now you're screwed. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just like, I just don't buy stuff like that, man. And if it's not fully refurbished, not from DK Odie's, if it's not perfect, if it's perfectly refurbished, then I'm going to buy it. But when it's at a place like a secondhand or a garage sale, it has to be something like crazy for me to entertain even buying a system from like something like that, because you just don't know what's coming.
An AES, maybe.
Yeah, it would have to be like an AES, and if I do get it, it's gonna be in a black trash bag in my car until I can go in the garage, open it up, and check it out. But it ain't coming in my house until I can verify that console has nothing in it. I just don't want to introduce anything into my home that is going to cost me tons of money later on down the line, and then those things like to get into other things. You know what I'm saying? So,
So every time I buy a console, I soak it in a bucket of hot soapy water for a few hours, get it nice and clean.
Well, I do
It
the
works,
whole
guys, it
garage
works.
sale thing, but like I have a process where once I buy stuff, it goes into a certain room first, and it's cleaned in that room, and it doesn't leave that room until it has been cleaned and fully checked, because I don't want that coming into my game room or anything like that, or where my stock is.
Mm-hmm.
And I have had those items that I've opened a bag and I'm like, this is just going straight in the bin. Like there's ants in here, or there's roaches in here, or this is just disgusting. And a good deal is a good deal, but if you're buying someone's rubbish, it's not a good deal.
Yes.
Listen, I don't care if you got some roaches in your house, in your kitchen, in your food, in your bathroom, but in your games, have some self-respect, people.
Dude,
God
it's
keep your games clean. Get some Goo-Gon, for God's sakes.
Yeah, man, it's bad, dude. Like,
people that use games as coasters and stuff, and like you can see the ring on the case.
Yep.
Yeah, I love those marketplace posts where it's just like games, and it's just a box, and it's like a mangled PS1 with a chewed up controller, and then a Mad Catz, and then like a half a Nintendo, 3 Wii games. It's just this big hodgepodge of stuff that's I'm like,
and then a bunch of like cases that you can't see what the discs are because they're all just like black Blu-rays.
Yeah, and then half of the cases
like
are empty
DVDs.
when you show up to buy them anyway. There's nothing in them. It's like this just
one manual for a system that they had when they were a kid.
I'm just baffled at how little they take care of it. Like, how do you at this point? How do you even still have it? Like, just throw it away.
I just saw how to see the chat, so don't laugh at me. So I popped it up. I was looking at the private chat, and then I saw as an area for the comments. I didn't see that over there. I just wanted to respond to D Street. He was asking, how did the customer respond after being told know about their roach nests in if you remember. So we would just tell them like, hey, we can't take this. We don't take any systems that have bugs in them. And they'd be like, what bugs? And I was like, well, there's roaches in here. He's like, what? They would always like be defensive and be like, they didn't know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, you know. Like if you got
they're not the only roaches in your
apartment building, it may not be their fault. I mean, you never know. I mean, but
it could be in a storage unit or something.
It could be whatever.
Or
so you
it
just
could be in an
know.
attic or a basement. They just haven't looked at it in a long time.
A lot of people keep old stuff in the garage or something.
Yeah.
It's in an area where the roaches can get in. There's boxes, there's different like that.
Yeah, so you don't make them feel bad about it, but you just let them know, hey, we can't take this, because it could end up going home. We're gonna sell. Back then, we would sell our used consoles immediately. We would try to clean them, and it didn't go back to the warehouse. Now GameStop has a process where it goes back to the warehouse, gets refurbished. But back then, the early 2000s, mid 2000s, we sold them immediately. So we're like, we don't want to, send this to someone's home, and then now GameStop's liable for it. So yeah, that's why we did that way.
So many years
Also,
did
a
you work
lot of
for
people would have
GameStop?
abused the system by trading in broken consoles, knowing it's not getting tested and different things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
No,
Oh, they
everybody's so honest. No.
do. Working in retail, I've seen just about all of the shadiest things, like especially back when the 360 was having the red ring of death. People would go to Walmart and they would shell swap. If they had a 360 and theirs got the red ring of death, they go buy another one and they would just swap the outside shell and return it to Walmart. And Walmart would get the red ring one that they just supposedly bought. And now they got a good one at home because all they did was take the plastic off, put the guts in the other one, and then go like that. So we've seen, or they would switch. If they didn't go as far as doing shell swap, they would label swap. Because the basic thing they would do at retail is just check the serial numbers. So if you could sticker swap on the 360, you couldn't sticker swap because I think it was like on the system somehow, but you could shell swap or whatever. So I've seen it all, man. Working at retail in the past, dude, I've seen it, the most insane things.
What's worse than consoles and still happens today is controllers. Controllers get returned so prevalently, especially in places like Walmart, and it's just you bring it back in, swap it for one that works.
Exactly, they do. It's insane, what they do, just to beat the system, Like at Walmart and at this is the main reason why Walmart started circling on the receipt or marking your receipt. People would go in, buy a TV, leave out, and as they're walking out, they're handing a receipt to another person, a buddy. The guy will walk in, put the same TV in the cart, walk to the front of the store, walk out with a TV, never pay for it because he had the receipt. But it wasn't the receipt for that TV. Now they got two TVs for the price of one. So Walmart said, now we check your receipt, we mark the receipt. That means you left already with this TV, and that circumvented what they were doing. So it's a lot of shady stuff out here, man.
Yeah, that irritates me because I hate when they stop and check my receipt when I'm leaving at Walmart. I treat them poorly when they do that to me. I'm like, oh, you think I'm stealing today? Oh, okay. You think I'm a scumbag? Well, maybe you're a scumbag. Go ahead. You can check my receipt, you freaking jerk, you stupid ass. I give them tons.
Do you want to see all the stuff I stole from the other store that I got a receipt for too?
Yeah, exactly. Like, you want to check my balls, bro? You want me to pull down my drawers? You want to take a look? Like
the register goes off because you've got something else in your bag that you bought from somewhere else.
Or you tell them, hey, I stole this stuff because I had to do your job and ring myself out, so don't feel bad.
Well, I used to do loss prevention for a long time. I worked as a security officer, and that was the biggest no-no. You never accuse or stop someone unless you know for sure they stole. You would never ever be like, hey, can I look through your pockets real quick? Hey, can I see your receipt? I just want to make sure. We would never ever do that. Like, if we stopped you, you're getting arrested. Like, you stole. Like, and even then we didn't even want to.
Proof,
we would give people
witnesses. We have this.
We would watch them steal on camera, and the first thing we would do is we would page on the store. We would say security to the front of the store immediately as soon as they stole, because 90% of the time the person would just be like, whoop, take it back out, put it down, and then they would leave. And then as they would leave, we would stand at the door, and I'd say, hey, you have a great day. Thanks for coming. And they'd be like, oh, yeah, thanks. They'd walk out, and that was it. But sometimes they would just go for it, and that's when you get tackled, baby. Because back in the day, we used to actually stop thieves and we would arrest them, which I've watched videos nowadays, and apparently that's not what happens anymore. Now they just take a dump on the security guard's fucking face and they give him the finger, and the security guard goes, okay. They don't do anything. Just let people steal. It blows my mind.
And the people that stop them is like the general public these days.
And that's because the reason they don't stop anymore, because
they'll sue you.
They'll sue you, and for that $200 or $300 you lost, you could end up losing $100K behind a lawsuit. Because if anyway it cut, even though they're wrong for stealing, they could get a good lawyer and say, hey, you hurt them, you mess up their shoulder, they can't work now. all type of scummy stuff if you get a lawyer that's scummy enough to do it. So yeah, they don't stop anybody anymore.
I think it should be a law that if you are in commission, if you're during a commission of a crime, you have no guarantee to safety whatsoever. I literally think people should be able to kill you.
I agree.
You should be able to pull out a shotgun and blow someone's head off for stealing from you. No questions asked. If you can prove they stole, you should be able to just end their life. I think that's the way it should be. I really do. And I know that sounds harsh. And I don't mean like a 4-year-old that stole a pack of gum. I'm not trying to be, what, grandma, you forgot to scan that bitch. I'm not saying like, I'm just saying violent criminals who run in with bags and are stealing, or, you should be able to end their
breaking
life.
into houses.
Well, that's another thing that drives me crazy is when you hear someone broke into someone's house and the person shoots them, and then the person who shoots them gets charged. Get out of here, dude. If you're in my home, you're dead.
I think everybody
dead. I don't care what I don't care what the reason is, why you're here, your sob story. I don't care how bad your life was, and I don't care. I do not care. You are dead.
Yeah, every state should have stand your ground law for sure.
Crazy, dude. Yeah.
Don't come into
we
my home.
We don't have those laws over here. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, don't come into my home. That's a protected area for me and my family. You come in my home, you're not leaving, and you are going to leave, but it's probably going to be in a body bag. So just make sure you think twice about that.
Well, I also recommend having a couple of German Shepherds. Surprise, motherfucker! Yeah. You picked the wrong house.
Hey, German Shepherds don't let up.
They don't let up. You're in big trouble if you break into my house. You're in big trouble. Those dogs are. I'm scared of them dogs. Sometimes I'm like, oh man, I hope they don't turn on me someday.
Dude, they do not let up, man. Oh my god, those are great dogs. They do not let up.
So I'm obviously paranoid about that stuff. Everybody has a collection. I'm sure is a little paranoid about that. I always think about it.
Well, you know what? I'm not paranoid about it because I have it insured. Every collector, and depending on where you're at, what country and what state you're, there are game collecting game companies that protect your collection. So games, memorabilia, whatever. I highly suggest insuring your stuff, dude, because you just don't never happen. Like you could have a fire, you could have water damage, you could have anything can happen to your collection outside of stealing it, right? Because if someone breaks in your house, they're not going to steal your whole collection. You got to be gone for a long time. They're going to steal your consoles
forever.
Yeah, they're going to steal your PlayStation 5 or your Xbox.
They might take a bunch off the shelf. They're not.
Yeah, they might
take
take something.
Game. Exactly.
Yeah, so you'll always have that. But you always want to protect it against other things, right?
Yeah, it's fires and floods that are going to
definitely look it up.
This is what I suggest everybody do. You get a really nice glass case, like top of the line. Like get some nice lights and some really nice stands, and then put in Superman 64. Put in like every worst, all the shittiest games you can fucking ET. Put in freaking Gollum. Kong Skull Island, put all the worst games possible. So that dumbass goes, "Oh, this is the stuff right here." And they go for that and they leave, your freaking persona alone.
Right. And you're right. Like the high-end games, just keep them spined in your shelf. You know what I'm saying? Because when you bring attention to high-end stuff, that's when high-end stuff gets nabbed, right? But yeah, I implore.
That's a damn good name, D Street. I love that game. I don't care what you say.
I implore everybody, if you have a collection, please get it, evaluate it, and get it protected because you just never know.
And it's happened. I've had friends that have lost their collections and it hasn't been insured, and it's heartbreaking. But like, there's nothing.
And it's cheap. It's cheap. It's like $30 or $40 a month. To collect, to protect the collection that can be 100,000 plus. You know what I'm saying? I have, for example, my Neo Geo collection. I have 47 Neo Geo games. That alone, you want to collect that. You want to protect that. And a lot of people don't. They always think about thieves, but you got to think like a thief for a second, right? They don't know what Earthbound is. They come to your house and they see Earthbound. They're not going to know what that is. And if they do know what it is, it's somebody from the community that broke in your house. And that probably knows you, but just a thief, an everyday thief, they're going to come in. They're going to take the PlayStation. They're going to take the Xbox. They're going to take things that they can sell really fast they know about. They don't know about the obscure stuff. And if somebody comes in that does know about this, so you come home one day, right? And
they're definitely
your
not taking
house-
Poop Slinger, I'll tell you that.
your
They're
house got
"Poop
broken
Slinger."
into, right?
All your expensive
And
games are gone. Yeah.
all your expensive stuff is gone. You know it's
You've been robbed
somebody
by a
that,
collector.
yeah, you've been robbed by a collector or somebody that knew you or somebody that knows what you have or whatever. And it's gonna be so easy to find them.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
a regular smash and grab.
You just told this person how much all this stuff's worth. That's
Exactly.
the person that robbed you.
Exactly.
You
'Cause
brought up a really good point, KAG. Just this week, we had a cyclone out on the coast, and at one point it was predicted to hit my city. And like I wasn't worried at all because I got insurance.
yeah.
Like I'm not stressing at all, knowing that I'm covered.
Yeah,
Like,
cover it, man. It's cheap. It's so cheap, man. Pay it off for the whole year. That's what you get income tax every year, right?
Mhm.
Pay it off for the whole year when you get your income tax. It's like $300 or $400. Just you won't even think about it. So now you can live that whole year worry free about your collection. You ain't worried about nothing. I can go on a trip. I can do whatever I want, and it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Don't worry about that.
We all know that the number one danger to all collections isn't thieves, it's not fires, it's not tornadoes, it's women. Exactly. You better watch out. It's either wives or crazy girlfriends.
Oh
So
man,
you're gonna piss them off someday, and
he's like,
they
I'm
know
selling it all for $1.
they do know what your babies are. They know how to hurt you worse than
Oh.
anybody. They know they know my blood will tell is the one I'd cry about, and that's the one
Yeah.
they'd fucking go sell, and they'd be like, I traded in for $5, bitch.
They won't even sell it. You'll come home and it'll be inside the tub. The tub is full of water. You'll be like, you should have sold it.
Oh my god!
At least I could have got it back.
Why isn't Joe on
I've
the
seen the
podcast
videos
anymore?
online, and it breaks your heart when you see it.
Oh man!
Like even just the ones where they get the console and they smash the console. It's just like, why are you doing that? Like,
Mhm.
well, like doesn't even have to be about gaming. Like
Oh,
when they keep cars or different things like that. It's just like, oh my god!
yeah.
I'm so glad
People
my
that
girlfriend
destroy
games,
things
dude.
in fits of
God.
rage. Yeah.
Not only that, not even if they destroy it. Like I saw like a reel or something on Facebook where some girl put a padlock on the dude's Xbox plug, so he couldn't plug it in the wall.
Man. Oh, that's
like right
shady.
through the hole, so you can't plug it in. I'm like, oh my god, that type of shit, that would drive me crazy. So my girlfriend wouldn't do that because she knows I would take that shit to a whole nother level. I would be like, oh, I could play this game.
Or you're
too.
locked out of the house
Yeah.
in the
It
middle
would
of
be
winter.
World War III.
Oh,
Hey guys,
But-
I think it's time that we play Figsy's quiz. What do you guys
Oh
say?
yeah,
all right.
let's do it. Oh, wait. We should get some like
That's all.
some fun little like stock music to play during this. Like, bip, 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 bip.
I like it because it gives me 20 seconds to get everything set up, so I don't have to like bluster around. All right, before we get into the quiz,
No looking at chat, CAG. You gotta turn off the chat because they'll give the answer. No cheating.
Uh-oh.
We will get chat's question up first. So everyone in chat has a chance to earn 1 point. Now, the first person to get 5 points will win themselves a video game shipped anywhere in the world. So far on our NA show, Cyrus is leading with 3 points. Banfi's got 2 points, and Turner has got 1 point. So, chat, your question this week: name the full video game title.
Oh my.
Oh my god.
What the?
This is
Dude,
a tough one.
Yeah, my head. Oh my god.
Gee, what? Hold up.
This is not easy, by the way. This is a really tough one.
He's
Good luck.
from The Office, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mr. Bean.
Oh,
So
my
we'll
goodness.
pull this one away for
I'm
a
glad
bit.
this
Give
is
you
for
guys
chat.
some time to think about this. While
You-
chat's thinking about that, let's get into the quiz. KAG, you're our guest today. Would you like to go first, or would you like Joe to go first?
Let Joe go first. Let me get
Oh.
a warm up.
Never
All right,
match
sounds
with a
good.
Sicilian. He's doing that thing.
So you'll be on first today. We do have a new style of question, which is pretty fun to debut for
Okay.
the first time. So I'm looking forward to that. Let's get into it with question number 1. All right, question 1.
Mhm.
In the Grand Theft Auto series, which character is known for making appearances or being mentioned in multiple games? Is
do
it
I- are you
Tommy
gonna read 'em?
Vercetti?
Okay.
Is it Claude? Is it Laszlo James or is it Mike Ballack? Nico Ballack.
I think it's Laszlo Jones.
Correct answer was Laszlo. That's correct. Joe takes the
Finally got one. I finally got a GTA question right. Finally. I get this wrong.
That is
point. All right,
awesome.
question number 2. KAG, this one's for you.
Awesome.
In the Half-Life series, what is the
Oh.
name of the mysterious character which appears frequently observing the protagonist Gordon Freeman? Is it the Administrator, the Observer, the
The Overseer.
Observer, or the
No.
G-Man?
No. It's the Overseer, the Observer, or the
Oh.
G-Man.
Okay. Struggling to see the letters.
God, you would pick something that I'm not familiar with. I'm gonna say the Overseer.
Wasn't the Overseer. Joe?
I'm going to say Observer.
Wasn't the Observer. The
it
correct
the
answer
G-Man?
was
The G-Man.
G-Man.
Right? Yeah,
The
I kind of
G-Man.
thought it was the G-Man, but then I was like,
You're gonna kill me. I've never played Half-Life. So.
yeah.
I've only
Well.
played like bits of it. So
Oh, dude. Well, okay.
if Half-Life 3 came out, I'd be buying it. But it's just one of those games that's now like 20 years old, you know.
They gave them free on my Steam Deck. I got them all for like
dude,
$6 one day, and I still haven't had a
Nice.
chance to play them.
the first
I
Half-Life
like,
was still a good
Playing
time.
Team Task Force 2. Like it's a great game, but
Mhm.
you can tell it was made 20 years ago. And
Dude.
like,
Half-Life 1 is still legit. I'm telling you. Game is fucking fantastic. It's got a great story. It's very immersive. And those little crab things are still just as much of a pain in the ass as they always were.
I'm gonna make my way to it one day. It's on.
I am ashamed at some of the franchises I have not played. Like I would upset everybody if I told you some of these.
Uncharted.
I haven't played Uncharted. I've only played like half an hour of one Metal Gear game.
Oh,
Like dude, I could go on, but you guys will really get upset.
No, I'm
listen,
sure everyone's got those
happens,
games that they just haven't touched.
It's not
AAA.
for lack of effort. They keep making more.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Well, I'm quite sure you have that Uncharted collection though.
Of course, I own all of everything. I'm not
Yeah,
saying I don't own them all. It's constantly like when you like. I laugh when you were like, I got 50 PS5 games and 45 is sealed. I'm like, I think if I like one, I think 44 of mine is sealed.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's move on to question number 3. Joe, this one's for you. So, Joe, I'm going to show you part of a special controller. What console is this controller for?
Oh.
It's Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to say the Wii just because it has every goddamn accessory known to mankind.
Wasn't the Wii. KAG for the steal?
I'm going to say oh man. I'll say say GameCube. I don't know. You got me.
It wasn't GameCube. So this was the controller for the Game of Life roulette controller, and it was for the PS1.
Oh, wow. I've never even seen that.
Oh,
it came out of Japan. Okay.
Oh, I kind of want that now. Oh,
That's
the game's
awesome.
in Japanese though, right?
Look how cool the controller is.
Yeah,
That
dude,
is-
that's what
that
I'm
is
saying. That is
phenomenal.
fucking. Oh, that is really cool. I just imagine that would be great for Resident Evil for the tank controls.
Yeah. Now,
360.
show me a half a cut up picture of the Steel Battalion controller. I would have got it.
Just once again, proves
Just like
to
the
show
foot
you
pedal or something.
that Japan
Yeah.
gets way cooler stuff than we get.
Oh, without a doubt.
Every time you show me one of these cool things, it's like Japan only.
Dude.
I'm like, oh, of course. Like
I'll with Japan. I'll just go with the cases, the PS1 cases.
hell yeah,
where
dude.
It's said.
But we got the same
PlayStation
cases
1.
in the PAL region. That's
Yeah.
so nice.
You guys got, man, here in the
But
US.
they're really fragile. So unless like I'm constantly swapping out cases with cheap sport games to get the nice ones in the collection and things like that.
We just got regular flimsy jewel cases in the US, man. Like, here's some crap for you.
At least with that, you can just swap them out with CDs, and
Mhm.
it's easy to get nice looking cases. So it's got that, much of a muchness. There was a stage where you could buy cheap sealed PS1 games to just replace the cases, but that era stopped about 7 years ago.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you can always go and find Achy Breaky Heart, like a barrel of them for a penny a piece, and take them out and swap them out.
All right, let's move on to question number 4. KAG, this one's for you. So I'm going to show you screenshots of loading screens, and you have to tell me what video game these loading screens are from.
Oh man. All right.
For all of them? Are they all different?
All from the same game.
Oh, okay.
Oh, this is all the same game?
Yep.
Huh. Because I would have thought this one up here was Bully. Huh.
Bully in the mountain stages and in the caves.
Right.
Yeah, you remember the field trips they took?
Let's see. I'll say Skyrim. Say Skyrim.
Not Skyrim. Joe, for this still?
The graphics look a little crappy, so I'm gonna say it's PS1, and I'm gonna say it's Tomb Raider.
Correct answer? Tomb Raider.
Wow. Good job.
That literally, I was like, crappy graphics and looks like stones or some shit. So that's literally.
Yeah, you narrowed it down pretty well. GG's there.
Awesome.
I mean, I just played that yesterday. I knew that.
All right, let's move on to question 5. Joe, this one's for you. What is the name of this enemy from Doom?
Beholder. No. Shit. Wait, hold on. From Doom?
Yeah.
Okay, so from Dungeons and Dragons, that looks like a beholder. From Doom? Is it a beholder? I don't think so. I think it's called like a Mac or something like that. Marmac or something. I don't know. Beholder. My final answer. That's what I.
Incorrect. Okay. Do you know this one?
I do not. I am a blank for that. I've destroyed them many times. Seer. We'll say Seer.
Seer is also incorrect. This is a tough one. We were looking for Kago Demon.
Oh no, I never got that.
Nah. I was like so like it's the oh wait shit, what did we do? I thought it was from Dungeons and Dragons immediately.
A few people in chat have got it, so definitely.
Oh no, that's no, that's definitely something Doom is
Oh yeah, they did get it.
Pretty popular.
All right, we'll move on to question number 6. KAG, this one's for you. So I'm going to show you a poster of a video game, and you have to tell me what game it's from.
All right. Huh.
I know this one, KAG. No pressure. Actually, it could be one of 2 games, so I have a 50-50 shot.
The axe looks so familiar, man.
This is a game that I wish would get remade so badly.
Is this a PC game?
Yes. I'll give you a hint.
I'm not giving hints, but if Joe wants to help.
It's similar to the last question. That's all I'm going to say.
He said it should get remade.
Mary Kate and Ashley. No, that ain't it.
I'll give you 10 seconds on the answer.
Okay.
I don't know, but that dildo at the top looks very painful.
So we'll go with PC game. I'm just gonna go with because he's been talking about it, the CEO for Microsoft. He's been
You're right.
he's
That's the
wearing-
one he's
he's
talking
wearing a
about.
shirt.
That's the one he's
What is it
talking about. You
called?
got it. You got it. You got it, KAG. You're right.
Hexen.
That's it. You
The correct
did,
answer
dude.
was Hexen.
Nice.
Well done.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Nice, bro.
I knew
Way to
Joe
work it out.
because Joe's already talked about it tonight. I'm like, oh, Joe's talking
Dude.
about one of the quiz questions.
Phil Spencer's been talking about. He's actually wore the shirt several times, talking about wanting this game to come back.
That I would love. So Heretic was the first one. So that's where I would have been screwed because it could have been Heretic or Hexen, but I was pretty sure it was Hexen. And then they just came out with that new. There's like a new game, like an online multiplayer game that looks like that. It's like a magic first-person shooter. Oh God, what's it called? Shoot, it's like something of Avalon or something like that. Children of Avalon. I don't remember. There's a new game that looks just like that. It's like that same like.
Someone
vibe.
will bring up the title in chat. While we're thinking
Yeah.
of that, let's move on to the next round. So these next two questions will be our picture questions. So it's just like chat's question. I'm going to show you a photo, and you have to guess the video game from the photo or photos.
Mhm.
So Joe, here's your video game.
this is Deadpool.
Oh,
That is
yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
That's so good.
All right, Kag, here's your video game.
This one's tougher.
Less than 5 people.
Yeah.
I give up. I don't know. Less than 5 people.
Joe, do you have an idea on this one?
Is that Alex Jones? They're turning the dogs gay! Ah! That's all I can see.
You're not meant to know who it is if that
I don't know if that's
part of your answer.
It's not. No. So it's either I'm thinking it could be Fist, like you said. It could be like angry. It could be like Fury, the Furious Five. It could be like a lot of things. I'm curious. 5 guys, 5 men, 5 dudes, 5 bros. Fist of the North, 5 stars. No, I don't fucking know what this is, man. I don't. I don't know. I'm gonna say it's Knuckles and Chaotix. I don't know, dude.
Pretty far away on this one. I'll say you're closest when you said angry. So it was. If I give you the first word, can you get it? It was aggressive.
Oh, inline, aggressive inline, the skating game.
In line.
Yes.
Yep, because they're in line.
Yes, I remember. I love that game.
I'll give half a point on that because I gave the first one.
All right.
Dude, I remember that game. Oh,
Yeah, some of the games are AAA, and then we use hidden gems and weird obscure things like that.
Or sometimes it'll be a Hello Kitty game that only get released in Italy. I'm like, what the hell is this?
It was Spain, Joe. You still don't know where it was released.
Yeah, see, I know. That's why I failed on the quiz, and I still don't know.
So at the
What'd I
end
say,
of
France,
8 questions, Joe's got a lead of 3 points. Kag's trailing behind on 1.5 points. We now move on to question number 9. So there will be a total of 9 points available in this round. Hang on, 11 points available in this round.
Okay.
I think. All right, so this is a new round. Never done this format before. I had to read it a few times to understand it. It should be a bit of fun. We're playing dominoes. You guys played dominoes before?
Mm-hmm.
We're playing a video game, dominoes. Kag, as you're behind, you're going to start first.
Okay.
So I give you the first word. Okay. Here are all our domino pieces.
Okay.
The first domino piece on the board is going to be Atomic Heart. So the way this works is the second game has to match up with the first one, usually by the name. So what is the second domino piece?
Let's see here. Atomic Hearts. So that's Breath of the Wild. So it's not that.
And you can just say the letter if you don't know the title of the game.
Okay. That's Soul Calibur. I'm gonna go with that horse racing game. I think is it. I'm gonna go with C. I'm gonna go with C.
C is incorrect. Joe?
I believe it is H, Heart of Darkness.
H is correct. So our first domino piece was Heart of Darkness. So we had Atomic Hearts and then Heart of Darkness.
Okay.
Okay.
Darkness.
We've got Heart of Darkness. What's our next
The milk's gone bad.
domino piece?
So would it go by the second part of it, the darkness part?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Gotcha. So we'll go with is that first row F?
Yep, Dark Void.
That's correct with Dark Souls.
Yep.
Is that Dark Souls? I thought it was Dark Void. I'm an ass. Oh wow,
Souls.
I should definitely know that.
I believe that's the power cover.
Well, I thank you very much, KAG, for pointing out that D would be Soul Calibur.
I get out of the way.
You did. I don't have that game. That's the Legends. That's Soul Calibur Legends or whatever.
Yeah.
And that is correct with Soul Calibur Legends. All right, KAG,
You
what's the
literally,
next
you
game?
literally did give me that. I would not have get it. Ooh.
All right, so we're looking for legends then. So it would be B.
That is correct. Legend of Zelda, Breath of the Wild. All right, Joe, you're up. What's the next one?
This is a dope ass category. Just for the
This
record.
is
This is awesome. Except I don't know the answer right now, so it sucks. Okay, Breath of the Wild. What looks wild to me? A looks wildish.
A is incorrect. Okay. No pieces are used twice, by the way.
I'm
so
gonna-
once it's been used, it's out.
Yeah, I figured.
I'm gonna go with H.
H has
Already
already
used
been
H.
used. You can
Already
answer
used H.
again.
Oh no, okay, E. I'm sorry. Those numbers are
E is incorrect. Joe?
Oh, wow.
C?
C is incorrect. Okay.
Oh dear lord.
All right, so
You gotta
if
pick
it's
a
not
50-50
that,
shot now.
so we're gonna go
Oh,
with
wait, no, there's a
J.
couple more.
We're gonna go with J.
J is correct with Wild Wacky Sports.
Mhm.
I don't think I never knew about that Tiny Toons game. I like Tiny Toons games too. The Tiny
Yes.
Toons games on Super Nintendo are fantastic, dude. Those
All
are
right,
really
Joe,
fun.
you're up next.
Oh shit! What was the name of that game? Why Wacky Sports? Oh, it's G
Yeah.
Sports Champions.
Sports Champions is correct. That was our next piece. All right, KAG, you're up next.
And I'm gonna go with E for champions.
Champions Jockey is correct. KAG takes the point. All right, Joe, you're up.
Jockey?
Is correct.
No,
Race
yeah,
Driver 2006.
got it.
All right, KAG, you're up next.
All right, so am I looking for 2006? What it is?
It could be either of the last two words.
Yeah,
All right, what were the other last word?
it's Race Driver.
Race Driver 2006.
I think they should have used a more generic name.
All right, so I'm definitely gonna go with A then.
A is correct. Driver
Driver,
Parallel
yeah.
Lines.
Good game.
All right, Joe, you're up.
There's only one left, so it's C.
And C is correct. So at the end of that, I'll just tally up the points. So on 6.5 points, we had KAG, but today's winner on 8 points is Joe Rad.
Yeah. Good job, Joe.
No one in chat has named chat's question yet. I will just quickly remind everyone of your question for the week.
Oh my god.
So I will post this in my Discord after the podcast. If no one's got it, you guys will have until next podcast to get it. And while you guys are thinking about that one, we'll move back into the show.
That's tough.
It's tough. You guys want to do some pickups?
Sure.
Let me go. How about I go first? Because I have like the least impressive pile this week, I think. I completely blew my wad on Black Friday, and I'll never financially recover from that. So I'm just
You're up, Joe.
So I only have one game that I picked up. Surprisingly, it's the only one, but it's a decent one. I got Contra Adventures for PS1.
Oh, wow.
I am more excited to get a PS1 game than 10 PS4 games, and I don't know what it is about PS1, but I just freaking love these games. So the Contra games in the PS1 get a lot of hate, and that's particularly because Legacy of War. It's like a twin stick top-down shooter with terrible camera angles and terrible controls, and it's kind of awful. But this one is a more traditional side-scrolling 2D Contra game, except it's just it's hard. Like, I don't know, it's just not an easy game. Like I've tried it many times and I have never beaten this thing or even come close. But I guess that's fair to say about a lot of the Contra games. But I like this game, so I don't know. Everybody you can eat my poop. I think this is a good game. I don't know why everyone craps on it. It's awesome, and it's in pretty good shape. It's only got like a couple little scratches on the back of the case, which can easily be replaced. Manual's in good shape. Yeah, Contra Adventures. Got a good deal for it too. Pretty happy about it. And then that's all I got for games. But I did pick up some DVDs, so I'll show those real quick, just because they're all the same pretty much. So I don't know about anybody else, but the new Godzilla movie is freaking dope as it is good. So if you haven't seen Godzilla -1, I'd recommend going to see it. And it's sort of like spurred eye, like, you know, I'm like obsessive compulsive, and I always just get into stuff and buy everything. So I bought all the Godzilla, the American ones. So here's the first Godzilla movie, 4K UHD. And then I bought, where is it? This is the Kong Skull Island with everybody's favorite actress, Brie Larson. Everybody's favorite. I don't care what anyone says to you. I think Brie Larson is hot as fuck. So I don't care how dumb she is. I don't care how much everybody hates her. I would treat you right, Brie. Give me a call. And then I got Godzilla, King of the Monsters, and Godzilla vs. Kong. And there's the new one is coming out next year, the sequel to this one. And then I also ordered like the Shin Godzilla, which isn't in this. Like, these are all related. These are all part of the same world, quote unquote. But I got like the Shin Godzilla, which is a different Godzilla that came out a few years ago, and I got the Peter Jackson Kong, even though that's supposed to be absolutely terrible. Everyone says it's bad, but I don't care. I just wanted to have it. And now that I gotten all those, I'm starting to go backwards in time, and I'm going to get all the Godzilla movies from the 90s, and then maybe from the 80s, and then I'll probably stop. I don't think I'm going to go back all the way to like black and white times. Like, I don't want the dudes, the rubber suits and stuff. You know what I mean? Like the ones that are like
tiny buildings.
Have you ever seen One Crazy Summer? You ever ssee that movie? You guys, have you seen One Crazy Summer? You know what that is, with John Cusack and Bobcat Goldthwait? Oh, dude, there's this, I don't even. It's kind of hard to describe, but there's this amazing scene where this guy has like trying to build like a golf course or something, and he has this like little model city set up of his country club he wants to build. And this Bobcat Goldthwait gets stuck inside of a Godzilla, like a giant rubber Godzilla suit, and someone throws a lit cigar into the suit, and it's like burning inside the suit, and he comes crashing through the wall, and he's like Godzilla, and he's smashing up the whole little city and everything. Oh my god, it's so freaking funny. Anyway,
I've heard the price of the PS4 titles on the way up again. Am I missed
For
the part
Godzilla?
of media
sure it
that's
is.
happened recently?
Yeah, the Godzilla -1 just came out, and so everybody is probably like me and is on the Godzilla hype train right now.
Okay, I'm glad that I bit the bullet when it was at $300, not like $450.
Dear Lord. That's it. That's all I got.
And that's a game that won't get reprint because they lost the licensing to it, and it's been taken down from the store. So you're never going to see more copies of Godzilla out there.
I have heard from people who like Godzilla that it's a decent Godzilla game. Like
I've heard it's terrible.
fans of Godzilla, so it's like, you know, people, you might think the Fist of the North Star games are terrible, but if you like Fist of the North Star, you love them. You know what I mean? Like so.
That was the thing when they first came out. They were known like the Kong game. It was known as a bad game, and that was the thing behind it. And I guess it's over time grew like a fault following behind it and different things like that.
Cult following.
Cult following. Cult following.
Is that that new Godzilla? Is that at the theater right now?
Yeah, I don't know if it's in like every theater or whatever, but it is in the theaters, and dude, it's I would see it in a theater. It's a Godzilla movie. You want that big experience, and you want that sound system when Godzilla goes, yeah, and just that fucking noise he does. You know what I mean? You want that to shake the room. You know what I mean? Like you want your seat shaking. So I would check it out. Yeah, it's got Godzilla -1.
There's a show that I've been watching. It has to do with
Monarch.
Yes, I love Monarch. Yes,
that is directly tied to these 4 movies.
Yes, yep. Mm-hmm.
So that is also part of this franchise.
Yeah, great show, man. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm watching it too, dude. Anything with Kurt Russell, I'm down.
Mm-hmm.
He's the man.
You got any pickups to show us, Keg?
Yeah, for sure. So let's see here. Well, we'll start with all right. So we'll start with the first one here. And other color
KAG,
of this one should
KAG
actually be here
nice
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
This is the new Sega Saturn controller made by Retrobit.
Oh,
So
nice.
this is the 6-button controller.
Mhm.
See the 6 buttons right there, and it comes with the dongles, so you can play it on your Saturn or on your PC or your Switch. So it works with the PC, the Switch, or any other USB-enabled devices.
I bet it works on the Genesis Mini too.
Probably. I haven't even opened this yet, but here I'm gonna pull this.
I have their 6-button Genesis version, not the Saturn one, but the regular Genesis one. I love that thing. I got the blue, clear blue one or whatever.
I like these. They always just open it up. They always come with these really nice plastic cases for the controllers to go in. So throw that off.
That's really nice.
Yeah,
Heck yeah.
And it says "I love retro" up there.
That is nice, dude.
Retrobit. Yeah, so it's pretty awesome, man.
That's such a good idea because I put my controllers back inside the boxes, and it's like, especially for PS4, there's such a pain to get inside the plastic and have to pull it out every time.
Yeah, and I love that it has a nice slot for the dongles too, because those get lost or misplaced. Or I end up with like 6 of them, and I'm like, which goes to which, and I gotta sit there and test them all.
It's always good to have a nice slot for your dongle.
That's right. I read that in a fortune cookie once.
All right, and then I also picked up something that has some contention in the gaming community. A lot of talking about this and a lot of complaining about it, but I decided to get it anyways. And this is the PlayStation Portal.
Nice, dude.
Right,
it looks beautiful. I'll give it that.
Yeah,
I love
it is nice. The reason I could do the same thing that the PlayStation Portal does. I can do it on my Steam Deck also, or on my ROG Ally. But the reason why I chose to go with the Portal is because the Portal has a PS5 controller built in. So neither of those devices have that PS5 controller built into it right there, and I really, really, I really do like it. I've never tried it with the PS4. Are you talking about that controller?
Mm-hmm.
It's USB, so I wouldn't see why not. It doesn't say it on the back of the box. It only says on the back here, it says Sega Saturn, PC, Mac, Switch, but it also says and other USB enabled devices. So I'll try, and on this I'll put a comment on the video later on down the line if you ever want to come back to it.
But that's dude, the Steam Deck is the shit because all of those work. So like that's one of the reasons I love the Steam Deck is I can use my Genesis controllers, I can use my N64 controllers, my GameCube controllers, my PlayStation, PS4,
Xbox controller, yeah,
my
Switch controller,
dude,
you name it.
Like I have
PC's the same. Like I love my
10
PC.
PS4 controllers. I have so many PS4 controllers from all the collecting I've done over the years, and like they all were just collecting dust. And then I got my Steam Deck, and now they're all back in the rotation, baby, because I put them on. I use my PS4 all the time, and I'm like, And I, as much as I love the new PS5 controller, I still feel like the PS4 is more comfortable in my hand. For me personally, not that it's better, the feature, the haptic, and all that other stuff, but it just, I don't know, something about that feels right in my hands.
This is the one I use.
Oh, okay.
So this is once you go with this one, you cannot go back to the original PS5 controller. This DualSense Edge, it's weighted so right, and it just feels amazing in your hands. But I also play with the Elite controller for my Xbox, so I'm always getting the Elite controllers.
Keyboard attachment, I love it.
Oh yeah, gotta have the keyboard attachment, man.
That's taking me back to the early 2000s.
Oh yeah, gotta have it,
dude. That's one thing I'll give Xbox. Their controllers are awesome, and their customizability is awesome, and the limited editions are awesome. They definitely have PlayStation beat as far as controllers go, in my opinion. I don't care about haptic. I know people think that's the greatest thing since sliced bread, but.
And they got variety. Like they got the Duke controller. If you got big hands, they got a controller for you. You know?
I just think you could, even the fact you could just be like, I want blue buttons and I wanted to be pink and I wanted to have this, and you can order them. Like that's so cool. Why doesn't PlayStation?
PlayStation got a custom controller scheme now where you can like buy someone a custom controller and have it completely designed for them, but it's quite expensive. You know, you're paying like $150 for a controller.
Is that through PlayStation? I've seen
it's an unofficial service.
Oh, okay.
But they do it for PlayStation or Xbox.
Those are really nice. I know what you're talking about. I've seen them. They do like the N64, like the clear plastic colors. Like
you can get so many different. And if someone's into something, they're great presents or something.
I hope you know how they came out with the the 25, the one that looks like a PS1 controller.
Yep.
I hope they do that for the PS5 too. I hope they come out with a couple like that, and I want them to come out with plates. Give me like throwback plates and controllers, like a PS1 plate and controller and a PS2 plate and controller and a PS3 plate.
Did you see the parting gift that they gave to I forget Sony's former CEO, but it was like a retro PS1 style PS5, and it's one of a kind, and it's so cool.
That's exactly what I want.
I think if they come,
he doesn't deserve that. He doesn't even like PS1. That asshole.
They should do a combo where the plates and the controller come packed together instead of selling them separate. Just do a combo where it all comes packed together. I think that would be awesome. Yeah, I did see that.
Don't put it up for limited edition on your website, dude. Just put it out at retail, for the love of God.
And then here's some other pickups for you. So these are video game related, but I am into vinyl. So I got a lot of video game vinyl. So I picked up this artwork on this. Looks super awesome. This is the Battletoads vinyl.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome artwork. Yeah.
That artwork is so nice. And then
what are their names? Isn't it like Wart?
Pimple
or something.
Pimple. I can't remember their names off top, but and then the disc, the album itself.
Exactly, D Street. That's what I'm saying. The man disses PS1. Doesn't deserve it.
It's pretty awesome because it's all in pink for that album.
Oh, that's
I love the colored vinyl.
That's beautiful, man.
So that's one of them that I picked up. And then I'm so into video game soundtracks. I have over 150 of them now, video game soundtracks.
Nice, dude.
And then
they can be worth a lot of money too, man. Because they get a lot of them get like one print run, and that's that. So if you don't get it when it comes out, you're paying reseller prices for everything. Oh,
Darius
dude,
2.
Nice.
I love
there.
this.
And the album on that one is all clear. It's like a see-through clear. And then the last one I picked up, I had to pick this up, and they were just talking about this with Sega, is the Virtual Fighter. I haven't opened this one yet.
Love the retro style artwork. That's cool.
Here, actually, I'll open it now. I haven't opened this one yet, but let's go ahead and open this.
Breaking the seal.
Oh yeah, I usually don't break the seal until I listen to them, but go ahead and open this now.
Dude, I am so pumped about Sega's new announcements. Did you see they leaked a couple more games?
Yeah, Ultra Beast,
Kid Chameleon, and Eternal Champions, supposedly. Pretty excited about that. Kid Chameleon is like one of my favorite games on the Genesis. So
that's
that was a really nice surprise.
inside of it.
Oh, that's sick, dude.
Cool.
And then this one,
It's like the menu screen.
The artwork, the album on this one is pretty awesome. It's marble orange.
Oh, that looks cool.
Right there. And this is an actual 2-disc.
The way they have the coloring, it almost looks like it's curved like a frisbee, but it's not. It's cool.
And you get on the inside of the other side, you get this book.
I was always so bad at Virtua Fighter. I think 50% of the time I would just leap out of the ring on my own and lose. I just jump over the head and land on the ring like, damn it. I always like the old drunk dude. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah. Heck yeah.
I always like playing with that guy because he was kind of like Eddie Gordo or Dr. B or whatever. He just mashed buttons and hope he would do something cool. Although that is like the worst button mashing game of all time. Like you actually have to know what you're doing in that game, unfortunately.
And last thing I got to get from down here. I got this from GameStop on clearance. I used my $5 GameStop points. Plus, I used some my $5 monthly points, and I used some more of my points. And I got this for $28, and I couldn't pass it up. It is the Calypso Protocol Collector's Edition, or PS5. And
holy crap!
The inside, look at that statue.
Oh, that's sick.
Right there.
It annoys me how it doesn't say PS5 on the front of the box.
Mm-hmm. You get the season,
like the new trend with collector's editions.
You get the season pass in here. You get a steel book, a sketchbook, and collector's pins. I haven't opened it yet, but just picked that up for $28, man.
Yeah, can't complain with that price.
The statue is worth double at least.
Oh yeah, the statue is the only reason. Statue is the only reason I bought it because I already have Calypso Protocol on PS5 and Xbox Series X, so I didn't need the game. It was just a statue. That was all I wanted.
$28. They're giving it away, literally.
Oh yeah,
they're so big these days. That's those collector's editions. They're all that size, and there's so many of them.
That would be for my pickups.
I miss the old when they were small, compact, and you get this little box and it's really heavy, and that's the collector's edition.
I'm fine with it if you get a statue.
Yes.
Like that's if you're getting a statue, I don't care if it's big because it's probably going to be worth it. I really like the Spider-Man 2 statue that came out too. That thing was sick too.
Dope.
But again, this is one of those things where if I cannot buy one. Otherwise, I will have a room full of statues and I will be out of lots of money.
I had a whole room full of them. I've since sold half of them. So
I'm very compulsive, KAG, when it comes to stuff. I'm like literally, I bought all of 4 Kong movies, like I said, and I'm like, I watched the movie, gotta get every Godzilla movie ever made. Here we go.
Before I moved, I had every collector's edition you could think of. I had so many statues, and I was just like, you know what? It's time to get rid of this stuff, man. And I got rid of a lot of the statues. What I kept was all of my Batman stuff. If you don't know, Batman is everything to me. So every Batman statue that I had, I kept those, and then I kept a couple. Like I have X-Man Colossus statue, which is I
Nice.
paid tons of money for that one, so I kept that one. And then I had a Snake Eyes statue, and I was like, can't get rid of Snake Eyes.
G.I. Joe?
Yes.
Fuck
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I kept that one. But collector's edition, I had so much, man. It's crazy. If you ever look at my game room tour from like a few years ago on my channel, you'll just see it was an insane amount of stuff that I had, dude. It's crazy.
Once you go down the road of buying collector's editions, it gets dangerous. Like I filled up a whole room in like 3 months, and then I'm like, all right, calm down, because I got to be able to live in this place.
Yeah.
Most of the absurd, like even the ones I loved. He's
friggin', he adds a little toothbrush to a statue. He's brushing his teeth with one. He's
the biggest collector's edition I had, and I ended up selling it for like $650. Was the Darksiders collector's edition that came with all the statues. When I say that box was like ginormous, it was ridiculous. It came with three of the Darksiders, the Horsemen, three of the Horsemen, because the fourth Horseman, she came in a different one. So it came with or he came in a different one. Yeah, he came in a different one. It came with three of the Horsemen, and it came with the Shopkeeper, and then it also came with this long scroll, and it's had so much in it, man. And it was like $399 when it came out, and then when I moved, I ended up selling it for almost a little over $600, almost $700. And the guy drove out to come get it. He was like, "I never thought I would see this ever again," and I didn't even. Well, I had posted it on Facebook Marketplace. I had posted it for $600. He overbid it and said, "I'll be there today if you hold it." And this dude, when he was driving, he was sending me his updates from his
Don't
iPhone,
sell it,
his
motherfucker.
GPS.
Don't sell it. Don't sell it.
Dude, yeah,
I know that feeling. I know that feeling, bro.
Yeah, where he was at. And I was like, bro, I'm not going to sell it.
It made his whole year.
Oh, yeah. And I was like, I'm not going to sell it. I'm not going to sell it.
Well,
Don't worry about it.
In his head, someone's like, "I'll give you 800. I'll give you 900." He's like, "No, don't do it. I'm coming.
No, dude, I would never. Like, if we make a deal,
yeah, I would never do that either.
You're good for the timeline of that deal. If that deal's good for a day, you're good for that deal. I don't care what someone offers me for it. Like, my honor is more important to me, know, in the gaming community and to myself. Somebody could have offered me $1,500 for it, and I would have told them no, because listen, I gave this guy my word, and he's coming. You know what I'm saying? That means more to me anything. And he came, dude. He got there.
Facebook. It's just principle in yourself sometimes.
Yes. Oh yeah.
I've said someone, "I'm coming to meet you," drove an hour, texted him, and then didn't show up.
Oh my God.
I've had that happen where someone either offered them, or they just decided to not sell it, or they didn't like the deal, or who knows, but they just didn't show up. And like, dude, that is infuriating. So I would never ever do that to someone. Like, if you say you're coming, you're good. Like,
D Street says, haven't seen the Darksiders one, but I remember the Titanfall 1 collector's edition was gigantic. I had the Titanfall 2 one that came with the wearable helmet. When I think, okay, so I was collecting helmets like crazy. I had every Star Wars helmet that came out, every one, Darth Vader, Mandalorian, literally all of them. And then I had that one. That's one collector's edition I wish I wouldn't have got rid of, because that Titanfall 2 helmet was badass. I mean, that helmet was phenomenal.
Some of the helmets take up so much space. I had the Killzone 3 Helghast edition.
Yep.
And that box never sat on one shelf. It always overlapped the shelf because the box was that big.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys, I have some pickups, and I don't usually have pickups. I've been building a package with my friend Tristan over in the Netherlands for a while, and finally sorted them out, and I've gotten stuff from my end. So these are also from some stuff from Germany, from Christian as well. So I believe the first couple are from Christian. So here we have the Max Payne 3 slipcover. This one was only released in Germany.
Love that game.
pretty neat little slipcover here. I
Yeah,
love
very
my
nice.
slipcovers for PS3. I've got about 150 of them. I'm not saying I'm going for all of them, but I buy anyone I don't own. So
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm going, but I would take them all if they were
Right.
all right, number one I didn't own. Not many that I don't have, but here we have a HMV exclusive edition, which HMV is a shop over in the UK that sells video games, and this is the Bourne Conspiracy. So they released this slipcover with a soundtrack.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so it's a little bit thicker than a usual slipcover, which is pretty cool. And quite tough to track this one down because it did only get a release through one store, so it is quite limited.
That's from Sierra. Wow.
Mhm.
Next, we have a game that I'm super excited to show. Most people are going to be like, why are you showing us a sport game? This is a game from my childhood. It is the last game from my childhood that I'm adding to my collection. Every other game from my childhood that I have nostalgic with, I already own. I've been trying to buy this for years. There's only one copy in Australia. It hasn't got a manual. And importing on eBay would cost a fortune. So I finally got a copy, and that is International Superstar Soccer 3. Don't laugh. When I was a kid, Mum came home from the markets one day with just a CD. She said, "I got you a new video game," and I don't know if it was a burnt copy or what. But me and my brother would have put in like 300-400 hours into this game. And just like getting online, it's kind of got a cult following where it's a $40-50 game because a lot of people had that same feeling and want to keep buying it back. So it's held its value. And it's a series that got cancelled after that. So I'm actually going to play this soon. I'm looking forward to it. Got like a super thick manual, like old games used to. Manual like has a bit of weight to it. It has the registration cards and a second manual, so that's pretty cool. Yeah, so
That's
I'm
awesome.
super excited to add this to my collection. And I do believe every single game I had as a kid is now in my collection, so it's pretty cool.
I love soccer games. There's one on Neo Geo called Super Sidekicks. Oh,
Oh,
one of the
that game's sick.
best. Dude,
Yeah.
I still
it
play
is
FIFA
a
today. I love my
phenomenal
soccer
soccer
games.
game. Phenomenal.
Speaking of soccer games, here's another one. I only got this because of the variant it is. So this is eFootball PES 2020, but this is the FC Bayern Munich cover edition. I believe this was only available through the FC Bayern fan store itself.
Sweet.
That's pretty cool. Some of these team cover variants can go for quite a bit in the future, especially for big teams like Bayern Munich. It's one of the biggest teams in the world. And then the final game, I'm pretty excited to own this. You guys might have missed, but there was a new GTA game that came out a couple of years ago that kind of went under the radar. It was set in Saudi Arabia.
Yeah, okay.
Arab Drift Cars 1.
What is that?
This is a real game. As you can see, it's even got like the GTA style font as well. And it pretty much is what it looks like. You drive in the Arab world in race cars. And
Is this a real game?
it's a real game.
That's a real game.
Wow.
I believe it was done as like a meme, but yeah, it's a real game. It's
Surprisingly
a few
expensive
$100,
game, KAG.
so I'm
Yeah, it's actually
pretty
kind
happy
of
to have it in the
expensive.
collection.
Wow. That is
It's-
awesome.
It's definitely like going to be hard to get that in the future. So
It's one of those ones that you'd rather get it today than later. It might get a reprint. We don't know. Just on reprints for PS4, I believe most of the expensive Power games have got reprints for PS4. They're available for the sale in Canada. Do you know the website, Joe?
shopsville.ca.
Yeah, so
Doesn't
like I'm talking
They have Nightfall. They had Space Blaze. What else did they have?
games that are going on eBay for like $300 to sell them for $30 Canadian. So if you're a Power
Yep.
collector, definitely check it out.
But they also ship in bubble mailers, and I ordered a copy of the Nightfall. It came crushed, and I returned it. And I ordered a copy of Space Blaze, and it came completely crushed, and so I returned it. And like I'm like, because I already own the Nightfall and Space Blaze, but I wanted a nice sealed copy, and I'm like, hell yeah, because then I can actually play those other ones without feeling bad or whatever. And I maybe sell those other copies down the line, have some trade bait, something, and they just keep sending me broken ones. So I literally had to send them a message. I actually did today saying, hey, I want to buy these games from you. Send me an invoice and I will give you an extra $5. Put it in a flipping box, you asses. Like, I'm so sick of
That was the
professional. These are professional video game retailers. These are like people that all they do is buy and sell games, and they ship in these paper, crappy, thin bubble mailers with no protect. What is the matter with you people? Like, I'm like a jackass who sells like 10 games a year, and guess what? I have a giant roll of bubble wrap that I bought, and I always protect my games. You people suck. Spend a penny and make sure the game gets there. Like, I don't like, it infuriates me, dude. I'm just like, you guys must lose money because I return that shit every time. If you send me a game and I open it and it is broken, it is immediately, I hit the return button immediately. Oh, God, it makes me so angry.
Figsy, what and where you're at? How's the MVS market? The Neo Geo MVS.
Everything in Australia is twice as much as it is everywhere else.
Yeah, so after COVID, the price of postage went from like $10 to $30. So everything just kind of exploded. If something didn't get released here, you're paying through the roof for it because you got to pay that importing fee. Currency kind of sucks as well. Like, if we get a game and it's only in EB Games, they sell it for $100 because that's their MSRP price. And if the other retailer doesn't get it, then it's their price or nothing, and that kind of sucks. We don't have it as bad as other countries. Like, I know that certain European countries and definitely countries in Asia and Africa and certain Pacific countries got worse, in South America, but compared to the US and compared to the UK, we cop it over here. That's for sure.
Yeah, we got it made, KAG, being in the US. We really do.
Yeah, man. When I can ship something, the UPS, the new United States Postal Service Advantage service for $7 nationwide. Like up to 70 pounds at that. It can be up to 70 pounds.
Oh my God.
It's like
I'm taking one game. I'm like, that's not that cheap. Not 70 pounds.
Oh yeah, it could be up to 70 pounds. Is ridiculous. I actually sold something to a guy in Australia. Well, so when I sell on eBay, I don't send anything. Like, my thing is just US only, but now eBay has it doesn't matter. eBay,
the global shipping program, and
so I was selling a Sega Nomad, and this guy bought it, and I had to ship it to Chicago, and then they shipped it out of Chicago all the way over to Australia. And I was like, yo, that's crazy, because when I saw his address, I was about to cancel his order until eBay said that they were taking care of the shipping overseas. So I was like, I don't ship anything overseas just because, it's just too much that can happen to it in transit or whatever. And he got it the other day. So after like 3 weeks.
Pretty sure the way that works is the people on the other end of the line will assess the item, and if they're not happy with it, they'll return it to you or they'll ship it on, and then they're taking responsibility on it as well, in terms of like the returns and stuff like that. So like, if he wants to return it, you're not going to be the one stuck with it because you don't have international shipping set up,
Yeah. So he has to deal with that, but I doubt he returns it, because anything I sell is usually something out of my collection. So it's pristine, taken care of, saying the whole 10, I would never, if I haven't played it and it was modded too, where the script had a new LCD for current day and everything. So, but I didn't know just recently that eBay did that until just recently. And I've started seeing a lot of orders come through, because this now another order's guy bought something from me, and it went to Florida, but it went to some warehouse. So I guess this person stays out of the country and they have some shipping service.
Yep.
Because a couple orders went there, and I was like, that's crazy, man. That's dope.
I do eBay full time, and I send to one shipping service in Australia, probably once a week. And I've got
Mhm.
friends that live in places like Saudi Arabia and Qatar, and they have these shipping services set up in Japan, in Australia, in the
Yeah.
US, and they ordering all their stuff to these places. And then once they've got 5 or 10 kilos of stuff, they're having it
Yes.
forwarded to themselves.
Yep.
It works really well. And most of the I've never had one of these items returned or a problem at all. So yeah, I've had good experiences myself.
That's awesome, man. I'm starting to learn. Um, I was I got into eBay, like selling on eBay probably like last year. I've been doing pretty good um on there, and I'm always worried about, because like I still have a perfect rating on there, and I'm always worried that somebody's gonna just like be
Like
that
I'm
one
gonna
person.
rest assure you right now. So eBay have got policies set up, but I get right now I've probably got for the past 12 months like 3,000 feedback, and it's 100% perfect. But I
Mhm.
probably get one negative feedback a month, and I instantly go into settings, and then it will take me to need help with feedback. And I don't want to talk to eBay directly. I want to talk to the computer,
Yeah.
and I talk to the computer, and I just basically say, even if I'm in the wrong, I'll just say why I'm in the right. The computer automatically remove it because as a big seller, um, they believe you to have a right to, if it's less than like a 0.1%, they'll just remove it from your account and keep you at 100%. And I've had more than 10 pieces removed in the last year, to the
Uh,
point where now it's almost been a year since this has started. And I've got 3 neutrals that are like 11 months old, and they're about to get off my account, so it'll be like 100% perfect. So
I
it's been
had
really good. It never used to be like this. It was always through someone else, but now you're dealing through an automated system, and it's set up to make the customer happy, to make the seller happy. So
yeah.
customers put in their bad feedback, and they might have got a refund, and eBay have taken the refund and not taking it out of the seller, taking the cost themselves, and they've also removed the feedback. So they're pretty good how they work. But I also pay to have a store and different things like that, so they might treat me differently as a big seller.
Well, I had this. So I sold this case. It was a gaming club case. It has like a 15-inch monitor in it, and it's like waterproof and all that. So this one really teed me off. So the guy bought it, and he didn't quite know how to use it. So I'm messaging him through the chat how to use it and stuff. And he's like, okay, I figured it out. Don't worry about it. So right before eBay's 30-day return policy, because I have no returns on anything, I
Yep.
put no returns, but eBay has this 30-day return
Yeah, so
policy.
you're better off putting returns on because they have
Yeah.
a free return policy anyway. So even if you say no, if they return it, they automatically accept it.
So this guy returned it. He used it for like 28 days. And then he returned it saying it didn't work. So I'm like, dude, you verified that it worked in the chat, and you used it for 28 days. And now it doesn't work. So I get it back. They held up like $150 of my money. And as I get it back, and he broke the HDMI cable. So the HDMI cable had pushed up pins, and that's why
Mm.
he returned it. Now, easy fix, because all I do is unscrew the top of the case, replace the HDMI cable in the screen, and now
Mm.
it's fixed again. And but he didn't return the power supply that came with it. There's a specific power supply in the case. He never returned it, and I kept messaging him, and he never responded after he got his money back. So I just blocked him. I just went in, got his username, and blocked him. I was like, I'm never going to deal with that. And my issue with eBay about it was I explained to eBay, and I took pictures of what he did to the case, and I took pictures of our chat and him saying that it worked, and explaining to them that he used it for 28 days, and then he returned it after he broke it.
Mhm.
And they
I
still
mean,
was like, give him his money back. I was like,
eBay can be bad like that sometimes. So in that instance, you basically just have to keep harassing them until you get someone who will listen to you. I've had a case where it was like that. They returned something, and I don't know if you guys have this in America, but in Australia, we have these people called Justice of the Peace.
mhm,
And basically, they're official people, usually older people who have finished working, and you take in documents and you get them to sign things, and then that's official. So I had to get this thing signed and a written letter, and then I had to send that to eBay. And then once eBay got that, they awarded. Oh no, the buyer was in the wrong. I do believe you now, because it's usually like a trust thing. But yeah, people, if they know how eBay works, they can exploit the system. Like the guy sending it back after 28 days. If he sent it back after 31 days or 32 days, guess what? eBay closed it.
Yeah.
So he knew 100% how it worked, exploited it to its fullest, and he got his refund. And that's where eBay can suck, when people exploit the system. But I find as a big seller, and the bigger you get, the less scammers and stuff you have approach you, that eBay works with sellers, and it works in your favor most of the time.
Yep. And I was just reading the chat. With the D Street's talking about the tax changes. Yeah, I seen that. If you sell, I think it's over $600 now. They send you have to report it or whatever. Mercari just put that on pause. So if you sell on Mercari, that won't go into effect till next year. But yeah, no, I sold enough on eBay that they were gonna look into that anyways. They were like, "Yeah, buddy, where's that tax form at?"
We have a few memes sent in by you guys on the Discord. We'll get the memes up quickly.
By the way, we haven't talked about the title of the show at all.
Oh yeah, we haven't done that.
2 hours, 20 minutes. We haven't said anything about it.
I changed the title afterwards or something.
Yeah, we're gonna change it to eBay sucks. I don't know.
Yeah,
All right,
Craig,
first one I
agree
put
with
in.
you.
This is IRL for me. You know. So you got the GTA Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer, but we're already playing Heroes of Might and Magic 3. I still play that game to this
like
day.
RuneScape or something. It's funny.
What does Sophie want for Christmas? She loves anything frozen. And then on Christmas Day, Sophie got frozen chicken nuggets.
There you go. That's okay.
All right, next we've got. They call me 007. Zero mentions.
Oh,
that's harsh. Wow. That's harsh.
Ouch.
Gamers will understand. Free user, paid
user.
Yep. Cheat codes then?
Yeah.
Cheat codes now.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Is that true?
I used to love back in the day when cheats would get discovered. Like the game, Rockstar wouldn't release the cheats. People would have to discover them. So they'd be on a website, and then a new one would get discovered, and it would be updated, and it would be like, change the game because you could finally do this.
If you use cheats now on PlayStation or Xbox, they disable the trophies and achievements. As soon as you,
which is, I think, is a good thing.
So. Oh yeah, no, I agree. It is, because then people would, just use cheats to get all that stuff. But as soon as you put it in there, your trophies and achievements are disabled.
There's mods on Steam, so you could still get trophies while using mods.
Mods for a mod.
Yeah, well, I used to play City Skylines, and it's almost unplayable without mods. I wanted to get the achievements, so they made a mod so you can still get the achievements in that game, which kind of makes sense.
I'm trying to get to 1 million gamer score. I was trying to do it by the end of this year, but luck. I'm at 844,000 gamer score. So like 160 away. I'll probably get to like 900,000 by the end of this month. But
have you ever heard of My Name Is Mayo?
Yeah, yep. Played it already. I don't have any need to do another.
Thank you for your purchase. Email me downloading the free PlayStation monthly games.
Yeah, all the time.
Did you know you can tell the age of a fake Christmas tree by counting the rings of tape on the box?
It's true. That's absolutely true, because you cannot get a freaking Christmas tree back in those boxes without taping it. Like, there's no way. Like, you cannot. It's the engineering is impossible.
Yep.
I need to save money. Oh, look, a new PS5 game.
That one hits home a little bit too hard.
Mhm.
Now, this next one wasn't a meme. It was a real ad posted by, I believe this was Best Buy for their Boxing Day sale. And this is really what they put. Look at the prices.
XXX 99.
This is a real ad that they put out.
How am I supposed to get Vin Diesel to come down here and trade him into the store? I don't know.
Yeah, it's just like we talked about before with Black Friday and everything. Sales are just becoming a joke these days.
Yes.
And the final one we've got, God of War Ragnarok DLC has a longer campaign than this year's Call of Duty. And the DLC's free.
Ouch.
True, by the way.
Mhm.
That was the best joke at the awards.
It
Oh, yeah.
was.
That voice actor.
Roasting Activision. I love it. Because no
Yeah.
one wants to work for Activision after what's happened either.
Yeah.
Well, guys, we might call that a show. 2.5 hour mark. KAG, it was so much fun having you on, man. It was great. Thanks for coming.
I
on.
loved it, man. Absolutely, man. Thank you for bringing me on, dude. This is awesome, man.
Yeah, super
I caught
fun, man.
the replay of the Twitch stream on Monday with Joe on, and it was a heap of fun. So if you
That's
guys
awesome,
want to
awesome.
check out KAG, you stream with the Media Glitch group as well.
Yep,
Yep.
we stream on Twitch over on the Twitch channel with Media Glitch. Whenever we get a chance, we try to get all three of us together, which is Joel, me, John, and Reggie. So hopefully we'll be able to get a stream with all four of us in this year before the year is out.
And then you also got a YouTube channel, so you want to make sure you go to subscribe to KAG's YouTube.
I do appreciate that. Yeah.
I just
drop all the links below, guys.
want to. You saw like 0.01% of the amazing shit that KAG has. So do not be fooled. He has amazing stuff. So go watch his videos, dude. I am blown away constantly, dude. You did a series of shorts where you were like, which one you like better? Which one you like better? Which one? And you had so much cool stuff, dude. I'm like, damn, I like them both. I want them both, bro.
Yeah.
So I can't say enough. Like, seriously, go check him out. He's got awesome stuff, dudes.
I appreciate that, man. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks everyone for watching. Stay tuned for Sunday. We have an Aussie on the show, another one. We've got Down Under Retro Gaming coming on, so it should be heaps of fun. I have another episode of Who Wants to Be a Game Collector coming out tomorrow. It's the second semi-final, so don't miss that one. And thanks for watching, everyone. We'll see you guys
Who is
on the
it?
next one.
Oh, wait, we don't want to spoil it in case nobody.
We don't want to spoil. We won't spoil.
Yeah.
In case you haven't watched
Well,
the first one.
It isn't me.
I mean, the thumbnail kind of spoils it anyway, but yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Good night, everyone. See you.
Night, everybody.
You found the coolest place to be, the PlayStation Collecting Nerds, and come on, won't you sing with me? Welcome to the show. Gather round the boys and girls, collectors from around the world. Let's show the people what they need to know. Welcome to the show. Gonna talk to Jeff, only got the best. Gonna put their knowledge to the test. Gonna laugh and meet, gonna live the dream. Gonna show you things you've never seen. Gonna sing the song to the break of dawn. Gonna rock this party all night long. So come on everybody, let me see you dance. Get yourself ready for one more chance.